On a Friday night at Utah Grizzlies hockey, as this evening the Grizz are at Credit Union of Texas Event Center as they take on the Allen Americans in the second of a three-game series. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Utah Grizzlies hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting. Happy Veterans Day to everybody, as hopefully a lot of people are able to get today off. Hey, we're not getting today off, though, as we're playing hockey tonight as the Grizzlies take on the Americans for the second of 12 meetings this season. And for the Grizzlies, it's been a pretty successful road trip. It's Game 7 of the 8-game trip. Utah is currently 4-2 on the trip, having won 3 in a row. 2 of Utah's last 3 games have been decided past regulation. Cameron Wright got the winning streak started as he got the overtime game winner. 2:04 into the extra session as Utah defeated Kansas City 4-3. Last Saturday, Utah won 7-3 against Kansas City. And on Wednesday night, Connor McDonald, the Grizzlies captain, was the hero as he scored the game-winning goal with 13 seconds left in overtime as Utah defeated Allen 3-2. Garrett Metcalf stopped 32 of 34 in net as he is 3-0 on the season. Zach Sekos had 1 goal and 1 assist. He tied the game 10:01 into the third period, and that made it a 2-2 contest. Sekos ended up getting an assist on the game winner that was scored by McDonald in overtime. Terran Pfizer in the first period scored his 6th goal of the season. So Pfizer continues his hot stretch of play as he's got a goal in 5 out of 8 games this season. Andrew Durham and Zach Pachiro each scored for Allen. The Americans outshot the Grizzlies 34-31, but a big difference in the game was the special teams, where Utah was 1 for 7 on the power play, while Allen was 0 for 4. Well, there's been a roster move that was made earlier today, and I'll tell you about it coming up next. Trent Miner will get the start in net. It'll be his second start of the season, but first in 3 weeks, as he last played on October 21st. He also spent some time in the AHL with the Colorado Eagles. Trent led the league last season with 7 shutouts, and so he'll be in net for the Grizzlies against the Allen Americans, and what should be a fun test as it's Game 7 of 8 straight on the road. We'll tell you about the roster move coming up next, and we'll also give you the Grizzlies lineup as we're in business on a Friday night, and you're listening to the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Welcome back to Grizzlies hockey. Face off in about 10 minutes from now from Credit Union of Texas Event Center, as the Grizzlies have won 3 in a row, and they look to make it 4 in a row this evening. But they'll be without Nate Klurman. A couple days ago, Ben Tardif was sent to the AHL's Colorado Eagles, and earlier today, it was Nate Klurman that got called up to Colorado. In his place will be Jordan Stone, who will be in the Grizzlies lineup tonight. But Nate, who's got 3 assists in 8 games this season, including 2 assists in his last 3 games, is now a member of the Colorado Eagles. There wasn't any roster additions, but Jordan Stone will take Klurman's place in the Grizzlies lineup as face-off in about 10 minutes from now. We'll give you the starters once we get them, what should be in a couple minutes. Utah is going to go with 16 skaters tonight, 10 forwards, and 6 defensemen. The top forward line for Utah will include Dakota Raby, who was wearing number 22. Raby, like Klurman, has gotten assists in 2 of his last 3 games. Brandon Cutler has 3 points this season. All of them came last Saturday against Kansas City in the 7-3 victory. Watch out for Cutler on the Grizzlies' power play tonight. And Terran Pfizer, who's got a point in 7 out of 8 games so far this season. Pfizer's been outstanding. He's been Utah's best goal scorer as he leads the way with 6 goals this season. He's also got a pretty good shooting percentage. He doesn't take a high volume of shots, but he does a good job converting the chances he does have, as he is 6 for 22 on shots this season with a 27.3 shooting percentage. So watch out for Terran Pfizer, who will be on the top forward line this evening. We'll also see Cam Strong in the Grizzlies lineup tonight. He's got 1 point in 8 games. Zach Sekos scored a big third-period goal for Utah. He's got 3 goals in his last 2 games. Cameron Wright leads the Grizzlies with 31 shots this season. He also leads Utah with 2 game winners. He scored the game winner in overtime last Friday as Utah defeated Kansas City 4-3. Wright will be out there with Sekos and Strong in that second forward line. We'll also see Dylan Fitz, who was outstanding in the first game in Kansas City, which was game 3 of the road trip. So Dylan Fitz will be in there. He's got 1 goal in 8 games. Tyler Penner led Utah with 7 shots on Wednesday night against Allen. Penner's got 1 goal this season, and Johnny Walker scored 2 goals last Saturday. And I guess the big question isn't if, but when Johnny Walker will ruffle the feathers of somebody on the Allen side. As it seemed like on Wednesday night, it was Nico Blackman who committed 2 different penalties on 1 play against Walker, and he went after Johnny earlier in the second period as well. So who's Johnny Walker going to tangle with here tonight, as the Worm will be wearing number 7 for the Grizzlies? And we'll also see Keaton Jamison, who's the 10th forward tonight. Jamison still looking for his first point, and this is 9th game of the season. Forwards that are going to be out of the Grizzlies lineup tonight are Christian Simeone and Neil Robinson. Grizzlies lost Nate Klarman to a AHL call-up earlier today. Utah is still without James Shearer, who's battling an injury as he got hurt in Utah's 3rd game of the season. And Utah, for the 2nd straight game, is going to be without Victor Bartley. 6th defenseman for the Grizzlies tonight, Bryson Martin, will be in there wearing number 14, and he'll be paired up with Wednesday night's hero, Connor McDonald, the Grizzlies captain, who scored the game winner with 13 seconds left in OT. And if he hadn't scored there, we probably end up going to a shootout. And obviously, once you get to a shootout, who knows what happens after that. We'll also see Andrew Nilsson in the Grizzlies lineup. He leads all league defensemen in points and assists. He's got 11 points and 10 assists this season. Watch out for him on the power play. He is tied for the league lead in power play points with 6. Who's he tied with? That's right, former Grizzly Trey Bradley, who's in Reading right now. Both guys have 6 power play points to lead the league. In his last 3 games, Nilsson has 1 goal and 7 assists. Remember, he had that great 6-assist performance last Saturday against Kansas City. The 6 assists tied a team record for a single game. We'll also see Kyle Pouncey in there wearing number 23. Pouncey scoreless in 4 games this season. Joey Colatarchi is in there for Utah. He's a +3 on the road trip for the Grizzlies. And Jordan Stone makes his first appearance of the 2022-23 season. Stone, I thought, was outstanding in the preseason, as it looks like he has made some big improvements from year 1 to year 2. He'll be in there for the first time this season wearing number 19. He's a big guy at 6'2" and 209 pounds. We actually do have the starters for the Grizzlies tonight. Trent Miner will get the start in net. It'll be his 2nd appearance of the season. He started the season opener and stopped 21 out of 25. The one concern you have, though, with Trent is rust. He's only played in 1 game in both the ECHL and AHL this year, and that did come 3 weeks ago. He did spend some time in the AHL with the Colorado Eagles. Obviously, he's gotten a ton of practice time over the last 3 weeks. He backed up Garrett Metcalf on Wednesday night, but kind of like with a lot of goaltenders, you could see as much practice and you can see as many shots as you want, but it might be a little bit different once you see that game situation. So I think the key for Trent here tonight is seeing some shots early. Maybe seeing some lower percentage shots and see if he can find a way to get in a rhythm, because I think once Trent gets that rhythm, gets a few games under his belt, I think he's going to be an outstanding goaltender, and this is his 2nd full season as a professional. He's got 8 shutouts as a pro, 7 of them coming last year with the Grizzlies, which led the league and did set a Grizzlies new single-season record. Starting defensive pairing is Connor McDonald and Andrew Nilsson. Looks like McDonald and Nilsson are the starting defensemen for the Grizzlies. Starting forwards are Cam Wright, Zach Sekos, and Cam Strong. Starting in net for the Allen Americans, and I don't know if it's right because it looked like I was told earlier today it would be Logan Flodell. Flodell was supposed to start, although right now on the ECHL app, they've got Luke Parasini as the starting goaltender for Allen. Unfortunately, on the ECHL Flow Sports feed that we have, we didn't see which goaltender went out first. So is it Parasini? Is it Flodell? I guess there's conflicting reports coming out of Allen as to who the starting goaltender is. I do know one thing. It's either Parasini or Flodell in net for Allen. Starting defensive pairing for the Americans, the former Grizzly Chris Malary, who's in his 3rd season as a pro. Malary played his college hockey at Penn State. He's got 1 goal and 2 assists in 6 games, and he has a +5 rating. He'll be paired up with Colton Saucerman, The guy sporting the sweet-looking beard in 6 games this year. He's got 2 goals and 2 assists and an even plus-minus rating. Starting forwards for Allen, Jared Bethune, wearing number 19, is going to be one starter. He's scoreless in 6 games. Colton Hargrove, wearing number 7. He's got 2 goals and 2 assists in 6 games. And Jackson Leopard, who doesn't have any goals in 4 games this season, but Leopard scored 20 goals for the Americans in 70 games last season. So that's the Grizzlies and the Americans face off here shortly from Credit Union of Texas Event Center. I'm Tyson Whiting, hanging out at Maverick Center. There's a concert here tonight, and I'm hanging out with Guy Carenza, who's here at Maverick Center with me. We'll talk with Guy during the intermissions. In fact, we could talk with Guy right now before the game, and we'll pop on his microphone. And Guy, I think it's going to be an interesting test tonight, regardless of who's in net for Allen, as we've now gotten conflicting reports. But Trent Miner gets a start for the first time in 3 weeks, and I just hope that there's not too much rust there. Hopefully gets off to a fast start, sees some low percentage shots, and is able to find a way to get in a rhythm tonight.
Yeah, Tyson, I think you're right. The big key with Trent Miner is rust. We know he's a great goaltender. He broke the shutout record in franchise history last season, so we know when he's on his A game, he's great. But the question is he going to be on his A game tonight with the lack of experience over the last couple weeks?
On the Grizzlies YouTube channel, go to the live chat for tonight's game, and we'll have our picks to click segment over there. My pick to click, I am going to go with Cameron Wright. I think he's going to have a big game tonight. Who's your pick to click?
I'm going to go with Brandon Cutler tonight.
You're going with Cutler. I'm going with Cameron Wright. Go on the live chat and make your pick to click as to who's going to be the player of the game for the Grizzlies this evening. And I think it should be an interesting test. Guy, any thoughts as to how this first period is going to turn out? You know, who's going to have a lead after one?
I think the biggest key to the game for the Grizzlies the keys to the game for the Grizzlies here tonight are, number one, they got to come out of the gate and they got to come out with their speed. They got to play their game. They got to set the tone. I mean, last game we saw Allen kind of dictated the terms and got the Grizzlies, behind. They were down 2-1 going into the third period. The Grizzlies need to get the first goal, and they need to set the tone and need to play with the lead. They need to play Grizzlies hockey to start and get the Allen Americans to play their game instead of playing Allen's game.
I love it. We just got to play Grizzlies hockey. That's the we got to have like a cliche of the night, and tonight might just be you got to play Grizzlies hockey because I thought on Wednesday night, Allen kind of dictated the terms and pace of the game a little bit.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened, Tyson. And the other thing for the Grizzlies is Allen is the second most penalized team in the league thus far, and the power play we saw it click in Kansas City, and when they were on their game, they were great. So Allen's probably going to take a few penalties in this game. If you can make them pay for it, and like I said, get that lead and get them behind and play Grizzlies hockey, you got a really good chance of winning this game.
And the Grizzlies have played a lot of close games as of late. They're 4-1 in one-goal games this season. That's been a key part as to why the Grizzlies are 4-2 on this current road trip. Guy, we'll talk to you first intermission. Let's come back in 30 seconds and have face-off over at Credit Union of Texas Event Center. It's the Grizzlies and the Americans coming up next on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Mountain Land Supply Company. It's a great night for hockey as 2 big standings points are on the line tonight as the Utah Grizzlies take on the Allen Americans for the second of a 3-game series and second time of 12 overall. Utah is currently 6-0 against in their last 6 games against the Americans. They went 5-0 last season against Allen. They got off on the winning note, winning in overtime 3-2. But a lot of those games have been close, and you got to give Chad Costello and his Allen Americans team a little bit of credit, as they've got some good forward lines that they're going to be rolling out tonight, as I think they actually do play O Canada and the national anthem over before face-off. And it's Veterans Day, and hopefully everybody had a fun Veterans Day. Hopefully they worked for a place that had Veterans Day off. I know the Grizzlies office was pretty empty today, but I was in there. In fact, it was so empty in the Grizzlies office, I decided to reenact some scenes from the movie The Miracle. We worked on that one scene where after the game against one of the teams over in Europe, where they went back and forth, and Herb Brooks was yelling again 1,000 times. That got me worn out, but I got a pretty good workout in, just kind of skating with my rollerblades from one side of the office to the other. Then I also gave a pretty good speech as I reenacted Herb Brooks' speech before the game against the Soviet Union. There was a crowd of nobody in the office to hear it, but I was able to have some fun here today in the Grizzlies office before face-off as the Grizzlies take on the Allen Americans. We did get conflicting reports as to who the starting goaltender is for Allen. The ECHL box score there that we follow the stats on has Luke Parasini in net, but I was told earlier today that it would be Logan Flodell. So we'll see who's going to be in net for Allen. We do know it's going to be Trent Miner in net for the Grizzlies. Miner wearing number 50. It's his second season in a Grizzlies uniform, but is rust going to be a factor for him? As after all, he hasn't played a game in 3 weeks. And if you joined us late, defenseman Nate Klerman was called up to the AHL earlier today, and he's replaced in the lineup by Jordan Stone. Stone making his season debut. He played in 18 games for the Grizzlies last year. The referee tonight is Alec Rounds. The linesmen are Aaron Schacht and Michael Miggins. So that's the officials tonight. Looks like face-off will be here shortly, as the Grizzlies are wearing the black jerseys with white numbers, white lettering in the back, and professional green trim, white on the elbows. Allen is wearing the same jersey they wore on Wednesday night, a white jersey with a little bit of red mixed in, red on the shoulders and the sleeves, white lettering in the back, and white numbers. A lot of teams in action here tonight, as Zach Sekos will take the face-off against Cameron Wright. Cam Strong also out there. Taking the face-off for Allen is Colton Hargrove. As Alec Rounds, referee, drops the puck, and we're underway on a Friday night. Game 2 of the 3-game series and Game 7 of 8 straight on the road. Puck near the Grizzlies bench. Cam Strong battling. It goes to Utah's Andrew Nilsson will feed it across to McDonald. Connor crosses center ice. He'll bounce it off the backside of Cameron Wright, and it goes back towards center ice. Allen will dump it in. Nilsson will reach over with his long stick to get it. He's in the Grizzly zone. He'll pitch it ahead to center ice. Wright couldn't skate over there. Chris Mallory dumps it off the screen as it goes to the right side near the corner. Now it rolls around towards the left side. Grizzlies skating from left to right here in the first period. Will step over the offensive line, but Allen pokes it back out to center. Jared Bethune, number 19, tried to dump it in. It bounced off of Brandon Cutler and goes to Cam Strong. Strong over to Wednesday night's hero, the captain, Connor McDonald. Connor enters the offensive zone, gets it poked away. Goes out to center ice. Utah will reset. Taryn Pfizer, who had a goal on Wednesday, he'll feed it to Dakota Raby. Raby back in his own corner, as now he'll skate along the near side. Now he'll veer off to the left. He'll feed a left wing pass. Utah has it connected. He'll skate towards the corner. Now the Grizz around the net, and it does look like it's Logan Flodell in net as Raby gets hit and goes to the right point. As Pfizer around the boards, as goes back towards Bryson Martin. He'll drop it off for Raby just outside the left circle. Up top for Pouncey. He'll take a shot, and that one goes wide. As Cutler, I was behind the net, tried to feed it out in front. Allen poked it away. Jack Combs, number 21 for Allen. He's got a great resume, and he'll feed a right-wing pass that bounces off of Zach Pachiro. Bryson Martin will skate towards his goal line and around the net. He'll feed it to Pfizer, who will backhand it to the center ice. Fitz in the right wing. He'll step over the offense line. He'll skate towards the circle, take a righty shot, and that one goes wide. Flodell, his glove side is his right, as his stick side is on his left hand, as Grizzlies get knocked down. Allen with the puck as they feed it to Lord Anthony Grissom, the Detroit native, as he's back behind his goal line. He'll turn it over. Pouncey has a bounce over off of Grissom. Now slot shot. That one's saved by Flodell. Now it was taken by Walker. Now Walker with another shot that goes wide. Puck ends up rolling along the far side. Fitz tried to keep it in, delayed offside. Allen will have it behind their net, and Lord Anthony Grissom will give it towards Gagnon, Ryan Gagnon wearing number 3. He was a college teammate of James Shearer's at the University of Calgary. Gagnon back behind his net. He's got 2 cutting towards his right, but he feeds it to the left side as Allen will pitch it from blue line to blue line and dumping it deep into the Grizzlies zone. Past Colatarchi. Now it's out to neutral ice. Cam Wright will feed it across. It bounces off the boards near Allen's bench. Strong dumps it in as Flodell will pitch it over to the right corner as Wright gets cut off by Mallory. Now Allen will get it out towards center ice, taken back by Utah. As they're in their own zone, they'll feed a rink-wide pass that goes past Cameron Wright. Got redirected, so no icing. As the puck behind Allen's net, they try to get to Sekos, and they do on the left side. Sekos feeds up top to the right for McDonald. Connor with a shot. And that one goes wide off the boards. Back to the right side. Utah battling in the corner as Allen gets pushed by Sekos. Now the Americans will toss it ahead, but Utah picks that off. Now up top for McDonald. Oh, the puck exited the zone. Now Allen gets it back. They'll throw it to the left wing. Allen in the offensive zone. They feed it out in front. Shot. And that one goes wide as they couldn't quite convert on the pass out in front of Trent Miner's net as the puck ends up back in the right corner. Raby around his own net. Trent Miner starting for the second time this season. Now towards the far goal line. Utah pokes it back towards the point. Utah will skate it out to center ice. 2-on-3 as the Grizz skate towards the right corner. Raby gets pushed along. He gets knocked down by Zachary Massicott. Massicott 6'4", 220. As Allen will throw it out to center ice. Americans to the right enter the zone. 2-on-3. As getting knocked down is Colton Hargrove. He dislodges the net from the right circle. Is there going to be a penalty? And it doesn't look like it, as no arm is raised by any of the officials. 16:01 left in the first, as we'll have a face-off in the left circle. Is that our first whistle of the game 4 minutes in? Boy, we've had quite a bit of back-and-forth action here early on. Tonight's Picks to Click, I am going with Cameron Wright. And if I remember right, Guy Carenza went with Brandon Cutler. And everybody make your pick to click on the Grizzlies YouTube channel on the live chat, as Dude's going to be the player of the game. Draw's going to be in the right circles. The fans still filing in there. It must be their Pooch on the Pond night because there are quite a few dogs in attendance there in Allen. Happy Veterans Day to everybody as the draw is at neutral ice, and it's won by Utah as they're back in their own zone. As Bryson Martin will bounce it off the left wing boards, and it goes deep into the Allen zone. As Flodell plays it behind his net. It was Parasini that started Wednesday for Allen. Now the Americans cross center ice. They'll throw a right wing pass that bounced off his stick. Now it's to the left point as Pachiro fires a shot, and that got redirected off his stick and goes out of play off the protective netting. So we get a whistle with 15:40 left in the first. Trent Miner getting some water. That's a water bottle there on top of his net. As there are quite a few dogs that are in attendance over at Allen Event Center. They've already shown 3 or 4 on Flow Sports. Some nice-looking dogs. Remember, the Grizzlies will have Pooch on the Pond on Friday night, next Friday against the Idaho Steelheads. Allen wins the face-off, left point shot, glove saved by Miner. He holds on, 15:35 left in the first, and the face-off's going to stay in the Grizzly zone and still going to be in the left circle. Yeah, a lot of dogs in attendance. Kind of a preview of Pooch on the Pond at Maverick Center. In fact, we're going to have Guy Carenza go over to one of those sections and interview a couple dogs next Friday. Off the draw, Allen with a shot blocked in front of Miner. Now the Grizzlies. Tyler Penner will feed it out to center ice. Allen gets it back as the Americans drive it around the boards as it goes back towards the left wing. Grizzlies fanned on trying to clear it out as Colatarchi in the area. Allen feeds it to the right corner. Combs skates over there, gets to the right point, but it bounces off the stick of Fitz. Now Penner over to Fitz on the left side. Fitz dumps it in from just outside the Grizzlies' offensive blue line as Penner spins it around the boards. It's towards the near side. Allen gets it. Hank Crone, number 67, 2 goals and 2 assists this season. He'll throw it the head to Dalton Skelly. Skelly over to Combs. Left circle, shot, saved by Miner. Trent holds on, 14:54 left in the first as Allen looking for the transition game as they want to enter the zone with plenty of momentum and take a shot just like Combs did right there on the left side. Allen doesn't take a whole lot of shots. They just take 29.8 per game. But the Americans this season in their first 6 games have allowed just 25.2 shots per game. So getting good scoring chances can be pretty tough against this Allen Americans club. Sekos wins the faceoff in the Grizzlies zone as he'll get it over to Bryson Martin. Grizzlies will bounce it off the far boards, and Allen will feed it around they tried to feed it around the net, but it got cut off at the side of the net by Miner, who holds on. 14:44 left in the first, and the puck has been in the Grizzlies zone here for the last couple minutes as the draw is going to stay in the Grizzlies zone. Oh, there's a good-looking black and white dog. They're at the place that, the name that they got, the Credit Union of Texas Event Center. It used to be known as the Allen Event Center. As a draw won by Allen, left point Mallory with a shot that goes wide as he was trying to get Hargrove to deflect it, and goes back over towards Jackson Leopard. He gets hit behind the net by McDonald. Now the Americans feed it up top. Allen fakes a shot that good to Mallory on the left side. He'll bounce it off the end wall as it rolls around the net, around the boards behind the net. Now to the right circle. Allen, Jackson Leopard being shadowed by McDonald. He'll skate around Allen's net. Tries to feed it out in front. It bounced towards Leopard. Now taking it is looking for it is Bethune on a toe drag, but he gets it poked away. This puck ends up back in the Allen zone. Americans have it 6 minutes in. Mallory on the near side will feed it to Colton Sosserman. He'll skate down the middle. Sosserman will toss it ahead. Now it's in Grizzlies territory. Allen dumps it in as it bounces into the left corner on one hop. Pfizer will nudge it ahead. Now the Grizzlies get it to Brandon Cutler across center ice right wing. He'll dump it to the corners. He gets around Grissom. Cutler tries to feed it out in front. It goes back to Raby. Now back to Cutler. He'll spin it along the far wing boards for Raby. As Grizzlies are in the offensive zone. Raby over towards Pfizer. As he'll get it to the left side for Raby. He gets held up and a puck bounces off the end wall. Now Nilsson tried to get over to Pfizer. Allen picked that off. Now they're battling in the right corner. Taken by Ryan Gagnon. He wears number 3 as he's behind Logan Flodell's net. Grizzlies will get back defensively. They'll get some fresh skaters. 13-13 left in the first. Still no score. As Allen will feed it out to Grizzlies territory. It kicks off the skate of Marcel Godbout. Now Godbout in the corner. There's a stick laying on the ice near the end wall. Now it goes back up top. Now they look to center it. And a shot by Leopard goes wide. That was actually Massacott, number 49, behind Utah's net. As Allen skates towards the corner, as the Americans will bounce it off the far wall and taken by Tyler Penner, who skated over there with energy. Penner crosses center ice, gets to the left circle, gets around a skater. Penner looks to drop it off as it bounced off the backboards as Fitz was chasing after it. As Walker over there as well, as Allen will feed it out to neutral ice. Allen crosses center. They make a line change behind the plate as Jared Bethune dumps it in. Grizz get there first as Keaton Jamison gets it taken away by Massacott. Massacott will feed it towards the high slot, poked away by Sekos. Zach gets pushed towards his bench, and Allen towards the right side. They tried to feed it to Crone out in front, stays to the right side. Allen can't get a shot off. Good job by the Grizzlies out in front. Colatarchi along with Pouncey. Now it goes to the right side. Shot. That one goes wide off the boards. As Hank Crone to the left side will feed it to the left point. Skelly gets it across to somebody off the screen. Now they look to center it. Sekos picked it off. Sekos gets held up. Still no call. As puck near the Grizzlies bench. Sekos will back it out into his own zone. I think that's Colatarchi who has it. He'll skate towards his goal line. Now he'll feed it ahead to Cam Strong. Strong to the left wing. Cross-ice pass to right. Right crosses center on the right side. As he'll bounce into the zone. He'll feed it over to the far corner. Allen picked it off before it got to the boards. Americans cross center ice and dump it into the right corner. As Hargrove over to the right side gets pushed by Sekos. 11:22 and counting left in the first period. Nilsson over there. Connor McDonald. Nilsson literally kicks it from one corner to the other. McDonald gets it. He'll feed it ahead to right. Cameron Wright out to center ice. He'll step over the offensive line 2-on-2. He'll take a shot. And that one goes wide off the backboards as Allen gets knocked down. Grizzlies have it. Left circle of their offensive zone. They'll feed it up top. Wright gets spun around. The puck goes out to center ice. Jordan Stone. In his first game of the season, it's going to be a penalty on the Americans as Miner skates towards the bench. As Wright drew a penalty, as the Grizzlies at center ice bounce it over. Arm is now raised by the linesman, and looks like the Grizzlies are going to be on the power play. As it looked like Cameron Wright was just at his offensive blue line over in the left point, got spun around, and that causes a power play. No score from Credit Union of Texas Event Center. Grizzlies are going to be on the power play for the first time tonight. When we come back in 30 seconds, this is the Grizzlies Hockey Network presented by Mountain Land Supply Company. Colton Sosserman gets 2 minutes for interference. Time of penalty 9:14 in. Allen has outshot Utah 3-2 so far, as there's a lot of dogs in attendance. It's Veterans Day over nationwide. Hopefully everybody had a good Veterans Day. Sosserman is in the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. Have you or someone you know been charged with a DUI? Rogers and Russell is Utah's DUI defense firm. Consequences for driving under the influence in Utah are serious, and you need great attorneys on your first line. Look for a letter in the mail from Rogers and Russell inviting you to schedule a free consultation. Don't throw away or discard this letter. Call and get Utah's best DUI defense team. Rogers and Russell. Pooch on the Pond next Friday at Maverick Center, as the Grizzlies next Thursday begin a 6-game homestand. 3 games against the Idaho Steelheads. Remember, along with Pooch on the Pond, it's also an AFCU Friday, where tickets start at just $8 when you pay using your AFCU debit or credit card at the Maverick Center box office. Cutler's kicked out of the face-off circle. Sekos will take the draw from the left side, as the draw won by Utah. Cutler feeds it to Pfizer. He'll get it to the right point. Now, Pfizer actually is in the right point. He'll skate towards the goal line. He'll get it to Sekos, as he'll feed it across all alone. Righty shot that gets blocked. That was taken by Cameron Wright. It goes to the point. Pfizer over to Wright. Cameron, left circle, feeds it to the far goal line for Cutler back up top. As the Grizz gets to Nilsson on the right side, over to Sekos. Sekos skates towards the right corner, stops in the circle. As he surveys, he gets it over to Wright. Cameron will spin it along the far wing boards. Cut off at the left point by Pfizer. Taryn gets it across to Sekos on the right side. He's near the boards. Sekos skates towards the corner, gets to Pfizer. Pfizer back to Sekos. He centers it. Lefty shot. Saved by Flodell. Puck deflects back to Pfizer on the rebound. He'll get it to Sekos. Halfway through the Grizzlies' first power play, they try to get it to Pfizer. It's picked off as Allen skates towards the right side, and that's Jared Bethune. He doesn't have much speed as he gets held up by Pfizer. Skates around the net. Now gets to the left side. Fitz takes the puck away. He'll cross center ice. He'll drop it off for Cutler. Cutler skates down the middle, take a shot. Kick saved by Flodell. Now skating against Nelson. He'll take a shot. Saved by Flodell. Grizzlies rebound. They score. Nelson took a shot. Looked like it got bounced off of Flodell. And Dylan Fitz gets his second of the year as Fitz gets the rebound and converted. Grizzlies with a power play goal. It's their 9th power play goal of the season as Fitz high-fives everybody on the Grizzlies bench, as the assistant captain has scored his second of the year, and Utah's taken a 1-0 lead. Cutler and Nilsson should get the assists on the Fitz goal. That was scored 10:30 into the first period as Dylan Fitz gets a pat on the head from Ryan Kanaswich. Cutler took the shot, saved by Flodell. Then Nilsson with a shot. It bounced off of him, nudged towards Fitz on the right side, and Dylan was able to put it away. Hats off to the Allen production crew for showing us a replay there. So it's going to be a goal for Dylan Fitz. The assists go to Brandon Cutler and Andrew Nilsson. That will be Nilsson's 7th power play assists of the season. And for Brandon Cutler, all 4 of his points have been on the power play. We're back to skating 5-on-5. Puck at neutral ice as the Americans near their bench skate from right to left as they cross center ice and dump it in onto Miner. Trent keeps it in play as he'll throw an outlet pass to the far side to Bryson Martin. Now ahead, the Grizzlies cross center. They'll gain the line as Walker on the right side takes a shot. That one goes wide as Jamison was the one that threw that pass. Jamison now gets up top to McDonald, but it bounces off his stick and goes to center ice. McDonald back in his own zone with it. Feeds it across to Martin. Bryson gets it ahead. It bounces off the stick of Jamison. Jamison runs it down in the far corner as he tried to kind of throw it from corner to corner. Allen took it away from him as the puck bounces ahead as the Americans will chip it out to center ice. Kolatarchi gets it. Allen makes a full line change. Grizz will change up a couple skaters themselves as Andrew Nilsson will feed it to Kolatarchi. Joey's played both defense and forward for the Grizzlies over the last year plus. Over to Sekos. He gets to center ice. Wright gets knocked down. Allen back in their own zone with the puck as Massicott will feed it across. 8:18 and counting left in the first. Utah leads 1-0 on Dylan Fitz's second of the year. As the Americans skate towards the slot, they step over the blue line as Allen will chip it to the left corner. Nilsson skates over there. He gets it. He'll feed it ahead. As Utah gets it poked away back towards Nilsson in the corner. Now Bethune takes it away. He looks to center to Leopard. Utah got a stick in the way. Now the Grizz have it with Cameron Wright. Wright, the University of Denver product, won a national championship last year. Also played at Bowling Green. He'll feed it to the Grizzlies' offensive blue line. It's picked off by the Americans. Now Mallory, third different team he's played in this league. He's played for Utah and Kansas City previously. He turns it over as the Grizzlies back in their own end. Feed it to the near corner. Utah with an outlet pass to somebody off the screen. And the puck ends up deflecting out of play. 7:34 left in the first. Utah leads 1-0 as the Grizz get a power play goal. Their 9th power play goal of the season. Fitz with the goal. Nielsen and Cutler with the assists. Utah's outshot Allen 5-4. We're back in 30 seconds as it was a Powerade power play goal for the Grizzlies. You're listening to the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Rio Tinto.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Utah leads 1-0, 7:34 left in the first period. Pooch on the Pond next Friday as the Grizzlies take on the Idaho Steelheads. Idaho is in first place in the Mountain Division. It'll be a 6-game homestand starting on Thursday night. Get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com, and then Friday will be the first AFCU Friday since opening night, where tickets start at $8 and you pay using your AFCU debit or credit card at the Maverick Center box office. And it's also, as we mentioned, Pooch on the Pond. Both teams will have next Saturday off, and then the series will end on Sunday. Note the Sunday start times this season will be at 3:10. Get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com as Allen wins the neutral zone draw. Lord Anthony Grissom dumps it in. Kyle Pouncey gets it for Utah. He skates along the far side. He'll bounce it off the far boards. Dylan Jamison dumps it in as Dylan Fitz scored 10:30 into the game as Grizzlies get over to Cutler. Right side shot. That one goes wide as he tried to go glove side on Flodell. Flodell's glove side is his right hand as the Americans dump it in. And it looks like icing is called as they dumped it in from their own territory with 7:06 left in the first. A lot of action from around the league. We'll talk about the scores, and we'll even go through the Mountain Division standings during the first intermission. We'll talk with Guy Carenza as well and get his thoughts on the Grizzlies' power play. And it was almost like the Grizzlies had a 2-on-2, and that kind of turned into a 3-on-3 into the offensive zone. It was kind of an unconventional power play goal that Utah scored 10:30 into the game. We'll talk about that as Sekos takes the face-off with right to his right as the Grizzlies win the offensive zone draw. As Utah gets it to Sekos. He had 1 goal and 1 assist on Wednesday night. Utah's got a 3-game winning streak. Left circle, shot. Saved by Flodell as he makes a glove stop on a shot by Cameron Wright. 6:57 left in the first. Grizzlies offensively have had some good time into the offensive zone since the power play, which began 9:14 in when Colton Sossaman got the interference minor. Taking the draw for Utah is going to be Keaton Jamison. He's got Sekos to his right and right to his left. Taking it for Allen is Colton Hargrove, who's a +2 this season. Allen wins the draw. They skate from right to left in the first period. They'll nudge it out to center ice. Allen carries it over the offensive line. They get it to the slot for Leopard. He overskates it. Now he gets it back. Right point. Sossaman with the shot saved by Miner. Rebound goes out in front. Jamison gets it. Bethune was hoping for a second chance for Allen, but he fanned on it. Grizzlies get it out to center ice. Passes behind Sekos as it goes back to Allen. They'll lift it out of play. Did it get redirected? Oh, it did. It got tipped so no delay of game as the puck ended up in the penalty box area. He was in his own zone, but the referee said that the pass was tipped, and so no delay of game penalty. Draw's going to be in the Allen zone. 6:31 left in the first period. And if you're watching on Flow Sports, we're looking at one beautiful-looking dog after another as it's Veterans Day over at Allen Event Center. Remember, Pooch on the Pond next Friday at Maverick Center as the Grizzlies take on the Idaho Steelheads. Draw won by Utah. McDonald, right side shot, saved by Flodell. He holds on. 6:28 left in the first period. Good job by Tyler Penner out in front of the net. Penner's only goal of the season was a redirection earlier on in the road trip. Penner's going to be one of those guys that he might get 5 or 6 tip-in goals this season, as he's out in front quite a bit, as is Dylan Fitz. You need those guys out in front of the net getting that real estate out in the crease area. Allen wins the draw. They're in their own zone. Gagnon gets hit pretty hard after he threw the pass. It goes to center ice. Grizzlies get it back as McDonald will throw it ahead. past Johnny Walker, and the Americans will feed it from blue line to blue line. This way, camera operator, as McDonald to the left side near the boards. As McDonald battling, as Allen 2-on-2. Utah takes it away. Good job by the Grizzlies winning that battle. Colatarchi over to the far side, and he'll get it to center ice. Utah will feed it down the middle for Fitz. Fitz will veer off to the left. He'll take a backhand shot. On it goes wide. Fitz looking for a second of the night. He's already scored one. As the Grizz get it up top. Pfizer, right side near the boards. The Grizzlies settle into the offensive zone. He'll center it to right. Shot saved by Flodell. Backhand shot by Martin on a rebound goes wide. And the Americans are able to clear it out. Wright took that shot from the high slot and had some steam on it. Pfizer with a right wing pass. Now he gets it back. Pfizer to the right circle, centers to Cutler. Brandon couldn't quite handle it. And we got a penalty. As Pfizer is on the right side, he tried to find a cutting Cutler out in front of the net. Hooking's the call, and it looks like Brandon Cutler's effort in getting out towards the net has drawn a penalty. And it's going to be Utah's second power play of the game. 5:26 left in the first as Allen gets called for hooking. And we'll see if the Grizzlies power play can get rolling once again. The score, Utah 1, Allen nothing. We're back in 30 seconds on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Zach Pachuro is in the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. 2 minutes for hooking, 14:34 into the contest. And it's kind of fun to see Pfizer and Cutler combine on that play that drew the penalty. Pfizer was on the right side near the goal line, centered into a cutting Cutler, and Pachuro was just out of position, and Cutler with good speed would have been able to get the pass and maybe would have scored to make it 2-0, but Pachuro got called for hooking as Cutler wasn't able to accept the pass. Cutler and Pfizer were teammates with the WHL's Victoria Royals for 3 seasons, so obviously there's a natural chemistry there. And they're on the same line tonight, and looks like they've done an outstanding job here so far this evening. As Allen wins the face-off, and they'll clear it out as the Grizzlies start their second power play of the game. Utah came into play tonight, 19% on the man advantage. They were 1 for 7 on Wednesday, and 1 for 1 here so far tonight. Pfizer to the right side, Grizzlies enter. They're now in the left corner. As Sekos tried to nudge it ahead, it goes back to the point. As Wright will feed it across. Pfizer gets it near the boards. Pfizer on the right point. He'll skate towards his left. He'll drop it off to the right circle for Sekos. Zach will get it up top for Nilsson. Now back to Sekos as he'll backpedal into the corner. Sekos gets pushed along the corner. He feeds it from one corner to the other as Allen gets it. And Hargrove tried to clear it, fanned on it, gets it back, and now he clears it deep into the Grizzlies zone. 1:10 left in the power play as both teams make a line change. Nilsson gets the puck. He's at neutral ice. He crosses center. Nilsson skates down the middle. He'll feed a left wing pass to Johnny Walker. Walker across the Fitz. He'll take a shot. Saved by Flodell. Rebound goes to Allen, who clears it out. Well, I don't know if the shot ended up getting to Flodell or if it got blocked by a guy diving in front of Fitz out in front. Either way, it's still 1-0 as Martin will feed it out to the right side. Crossing center is McDonald. The captain dumps it in. Flodell behind his net will let a defenseman take it as the Americans couldn't clear it out. Ends up in the right side. Fitz will feed it up top for McDonald. Connor, 30 seconds left in the power play. We'll get it to Fitz in the corner. Make that Raby. Back to Fitz. Dillon throws it down the middle. Picked off by Jack Combs. Combs crosses center ice. He'll skate towards the right side. Combs the circle. Take a shot. Saved by Miner. Rebound goes to Allen as they skate around the net. Now it looks like play is stopped. And I imagine Utah's going to get a penalty. As McDonald was in the area. High sticking is the call as the shot was taken by Combs from the right side, and he skated around the net. Looks like the referee is checking to see if it's 2 minutes or 4 minutes, checking to see if there was blood. So a penalty is going to be on Utah. It's their first penalty of the game. And let's see if we can find out who it's on. Is it going to be 2 minutes or is it going to be 4? 2 minutes, high sticking. Now, hopefully, the camera operator will show who's in the box. Looked like Dakota Raby is going in for Utah. He'll be in for 2 minutes. So we'll skate 4-on-4 for 17 seconds. And then after that, Allen will have their first power play of the game. 3:43 is left in the first period. Utah leads 1-0 as Dylan Fitz scored 10:30 in. Andrew Nelson and Brandon Cutler with the assist. It was a power play goal as Utah is now 1 for 2 on the man advantage. Hargrove will take the draw for Allen against Sekos in the left circle. Hank Crum, watch out for him on the Allen power play as they'll get over to the right side. Sossaman with a shot saved by Miner. Rebound goes out to the left point. Taken by Sekos. He tried to skate in from the right side. Allen poked it away as Crum will feed it ahead. As out of the penalty box is Pachura. Now Allen will start their power play as skating down the middle is Combs. Will take a shot, and that one goes wide and somehow exited out of play. 1:40 is left, and the official spot another penalty as Hargrove took the shot, or it was Combs that took the shot skating down the middle. He had plenty of room. Kind of looks like Combs on a couple of occasions has tried to go low on Miner, but Trent has done a good job here so far. What we kind of talked about early on is there going to be some rust with Trent Miner. He's seen 5 shots tonight, and he stopped them all. Actually, he's now seen 8 shots as the box score updates itself. Utah's outshot Allen 9-8. Grizzlies win the faceoff and clear it all the way down towards Logan Flodell, the Allen goaltender, 6 feet, 181 pounds, as the Americans back deep in their own zone as Colton Sossaman will throw a right wing pass as Hargrove gets it. He'll skate in, past the offensive line, and dump it to the end wall. McDonald feeds it to the corner. Martin gets hit right over there as well. Combs battling. Combs gets taken away by Wright. And a Grizzly is down in the corner. The arm is raised by the referee. Flodell touches up, and I imagine that's going to be a penalty on the Americans. As the Grizzly was battling in the corner, then all of a sudden you saw him get knocked down. And then Wright cleared it out. And then the arm is raised by the referee. Who's the penalty on? As it looks like we're going to skate back towards the Allen zone. 2:49 is left in the first. Grizzlies lead 1-0. Utah's won 3 in a row. They are currently 4-2 on this 8-game road trip. It's game 7 of 8 away from the friendly confines of Maverick Center. Going to the box for Allen is Colton Hargrove. Hargrove with penalty minutes 9 and 10 on the season. So he's in the box. So it looks like we're going to get 1 minute and 7 seconds of a 4-on-4. And then after that, the Grizzlies will get on the power play again. As Guy mentioned in the pregame show, Allen does take quite a bit of penalties. They did last season. I know about 3 years ago, they took a ton of penalties, led the league in penalty minutes by a wide margin back in the 2018-2019 season. Crowd still filing in there to Allen, Texas on a Friday night. I imagine they've still playing high school football over there, and you know how Friday nights in high school football in Texas can be. As Cutler will take the draw, Pfizer is to his right. Watch out for the 2 Victoria Royals on the ice together. Jack Combs will take the draw. He's wearing an A on his sweater. The captain is Spencer Asachuk, but he's only played 1 game this year. As the Grizzlies win the draw, McDonald with a shot. That one gets blocked. This goes back towards Cutler. He tried to feed it back to McDonald. Now he gets to the left side for Nilsson. Andrew feeds it to the high slot for Pfizer. Pfizer will back it out himself, and he'll restart the attack for Utah. Grizzlies scored 2 goals in a 4-on-4 situation, and they've allowed 1. So now Allen has it in their own zone as they'll feed it to the near side. As Jackson Leopard, who had 20 goals last season, will skate back into his own zone, kind of do a half circle. Now he'll feed it back off the far wing boards. The Americans very patient with their approach. They get it taken away. Skating towards the far goal line's Penner. He got it poked towards the end wall. Now it's taken by Bryson Martin. He's on the right side. 2 minutes left in the first period. Martin from the high slot fires away. That one gets blocked. As now Fitz around the net with the puck. Fitz looking for someone to throw it to as he's back towards the left point. He'll get it up top for Martin. Bryson with a shot that goes wide as it rolls around the near side. As Jack Combs gets hit by Penner, the 2 number 21s. Now the Americans. The puck is off the screen again as they're behind their net. Allen gets dragged down. Massacott fell down, no call. Grizzlies get it back in their own zone. And now out of the box is Raby, and the Grizzlies start their power play, an abbreviated one. They've got 33 seconds left on it. Wright will feed it to the right side for Pfizer. Pfizer gains the offensive line, stops near the boards, gets over to Nilsson. He'll feed it across, left side, lefty shot. Blocked. Rebound goes to Allen, and they clear it out. Nice pad save by Logan Flodell as now Trent Miner has it. They'll feed it to Nilsson. 1 minute left in the first period and 12 seconds left in the Grizzlies power play. Nilsson skates down the middle. He'll feed it ahead. As in the high slot, Wright steps over the blue line. Now to Pfizer. He'll chip it to the corner. Grizzlies over there with Wright. As Sekos gets pushed. Right to the right circle. And he'll take a shot. And bounced off a float-out and goes out of play. How many shots have we seen so far where we haven't seen the net? It's not that the Grizzlies have missed it. It's on Flow Sports we haven't seen the net. 44.6 seconds left. We're having some fun, but we'll apologize if you're tuned into YouTube, as sometimes the description we don't necessarily we're not able to see all the pieces to the puzzle, so we're able to just describe the pieces that we can see. We'll talk with Guy during the first intermission. Make sure to follow the Grizzlies on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as TikTok. Don't forget about the Grizzlies' strong presence on TikTok. I haven't made a TikTok as of yet. I am on Twitter at Tyson on Sports. Left corner, shot, and it bounces off of Flodell, goes over the net, and now behind the net, Grizzlies battle with half a minute left in the first period. Fitz will feed it to the right point as McDonald gets it across. Utah, they tried to fire towards the net. Allen blocked it. Jack Combs has it in his own zone. 20 seconds left in the first. As he'll feed it ahead to Mallory. Mallory skates towards his bench area. Now the Americans. Hank Crone trying to get around Penner. Good job by Penner, the strong two-way forward. As Raby, tried to kick it out to the slot for Fitz. Now Raby gets it back, feeds it across. Now left point, shot, saved by Flodell. That one was taken by Penner, who had a pretty strong shift. 2.9 seconds left in the first as the whistle blows. It looks like the Grizzlies will have a 1-0 lead headed to the locker room. Well, but the best chance there in the final minute there. Puck was in the corner, bounced off a Flodell and went over the top of the net and back behind it. And then the Grizzlies ended up battling from there. Pretty strong first period by the Grizzlies. As Flodell with some instructions with his team. As the draw won by Allen, and that will do it for 20 minutes over at Credit Union of Texas Event Center. As the only goal scored by either side, Dylan Fitz got his second of the year, 10:30 in. Nilsson and Cutler with the assist. It was a power play goal. Shots were pretty close to even in the first period. Looked like it ended up Utah 10 shots to Allen's 9, as both teams will skate towards their respective dressing rooms. Pretty strong first period by the Grizzlies. Strong first period for Trent Miner, who stopped all 9 that he saw. For Allen, the box score still has Luke Parasini in net, but it's actually Logan Flodell. Flodell has stopped 9 of 10. We'll come back and have the first intermission report, the Siegfried and Jensen intermission report. Utah leads 1-0 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Rio Tinto. First intermission, we're here at Maverick Center. The Grizzlies are in the Lone Star State. Utah leads 1-0. Only goal scored by either side is by Utah's Dylan Fitz. He scored on the power play, 10:30 in. Nilsson and Cutler with the assist. And how about the power play production of both Nilsson and Cutler? That is Andrew Nilsson's 7th power play assist. That leads the league. Also his 7th power play point, and that breaks a tie with former Grizzly Trey Bradley, who were each tied with 6 power play points on the season. And as for Brandon Cutler, he's got 2 goals and 2 assists this year. All 4 of those points have come on the Grizzlies' power play. And so Utah, which was a little bit slow to start on the power play the first 6 games of the regular season, but that has certainly been a strong point for Utah over the last 3 games. And if you think about it, the Grizzlies have 7 power play goals in the last 7 periods of play. Shots are pretty even in the first period. Utah with 10 shots, Allen with 9. For Utah, Connor McDonald and Brandon Cutler Each had 2 shots, and then 1 shot each for Walker, Fitz. Fitz has turned out to be a goal. Martin, Cameron Wright had 1 shot, although it seemed like more than that. Penner and Andrew Nilsson each had 1 shot. For Allen, they had 9 shots. Jack Combs had 3. Seemed like he tried to go low a couple times on Trent Miner. Colton Sossaman and Zachary Massicott each had 2 shots. And then 1 shot for Nico Blackman and Anthony Durham. The penalties in the first period, Colton Sossaman got an interference minor. 9:14 in. The Grizzlies ended up scoring on that power play. Zach Pachiro for Allen got a hooking minor. 14:34 in. And then while the Grizzlies were on the power play, Dakota Raby got a high sticking minor. Time of that penalty, 16:17 in. And then Colton Hargrove got a roughing minor. 17:11 into the first period. So a strong first frame by the Grizzlies, and we'll see what happens in the second. Allen did outscore Utah 1-0 in the second period on Wednesday night, a game Utah eventually won 3-2. But the Grizzlies have been pretty strong in the second periods. They've outscored their opponent 11-5 in the second periods. Anyway, last season, the Grizzlies were a +29 in the goal differential. Utah has outshot their opposition 100-80 in the second periods, +20 in the shot count through 8 games. If you joined us late, earlier today, defenseman Nate Klarman was recalled to the AHL's Colorado Eagles. He's currently in the second year of an NHL entry-level deal, and Jordan Stone took his place in the Grizzlies lineup. Stone did a pretty good job. It's actually his season debut for the Grizzlies. He played in 18 games last year, and Jordan looks like he is much improved from last season. Gotten a couple shifts there in the first period, and it'll be interesting to see how he plays the rest of this contest. But it is obviously a tough loss for Utah, losing Nate Klarman, who was wearing the A for the Grizzlies, and so I haven't been able to spot to see who's wearing the letter that Klarman was wearing, because it looked like Connor McDonald. He's the captain of the Grizzlies. Dylan Fitz is one of the alternate captains. He's wearing an A. I couldn't see, though, who ended up wearing that other A for the Grizzlies. I know there's a lot of good team leaders for the club and a lot of good options to wear the A, whether it's Nilsson or Cutler. We'll see if we'll spot that out in the second period of play. Maybe Tyler Penner. We'll just have to look at the front of the jersey to see if we can to spot who's wearing that other A tonight for the Grizzlies. When we come back to the Grizzlies intermission report presented by Siegfried and Jensen, we'll go over some league scores. We'll also go over some NHL scores tonight. We'll talk with Guy Karenz and get his thoughts on the first 20 minutes of play as Utah leads 1-0. This is the Siegfried and Jensen intermission report on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Looks like they got a dog parade going out on the ice at the Credit Union of Texas Events Center. That might be similar to the dog parade we'll have at Maverick Center for Pooch on the Pond as the Grizzlies take on the Idaho Steelheads. That's going to be the middle game of a 3-game series. Don't forget the Grizzlies will be back at Maverick Center this upcoming Thursday. That's right, a rare Thursday home game for the Grizzlies. Now begin a 6-game homestand, 3 against the Idaho Steelheads next Thursday, Friday. Friday is obviously Pooch on the Pond, as well as the first AFCU Friday since the season opener on October 21st. And with AFCU Fridays, tickets start at just $8 when you pay using your AFCU debit or credit card at the Maverick Center box office. And then both teams will be off that Saturday. Sunday, November 20th, will be the final game of the 3-game set. Remember, Sunday home games for the Grizzlies this season will start at 3:10. We'll talk with Guy here in a couple minutes. We'll get to some scores from around the league. One game has gone final. Newfoundland defeats Norfolk 7-1. I didn't mention it before, but earlier this week, did you see the news? Former Grizzlies assistant coach Jeff Carr was named the head coach of the Norfolk Admirals. They're off to a tough start this season. They're 1-9. And obviously, when you get off to a tough start like that, coaching changes sometimes happen. And Jeff Carr is the new head coach. He had previously been with the SPHL's Knoxville Ice Bears, but before that was a Grizzlies assistant back in the 2016-2017 season. I even think he has some ties to the Ogden Mustangs, the junior league team over there, as I think he was with Ogden before his time with the Grizzlies. So congratulations to former Grizzlies assistant coach Jeff Carr, who's now the head coach of the Norfolk Admirals, but looks like he's got his hands full as his team loses to Newfoundland 7-1. That game played at Mary Brown Center in St. John's, Newfoundland. I'm trying to look at the other scores. Second intermission, Adirondack leads Worcester 3-2, and that'd be noteworthy if Adirondack wins tonight, as Worcester is off to a 9-0 start to the season. That game played at Cool Insuring Arena in Glen Falls. Second intermission, Adirondack leads Worcester 3-2. Also after 2 periods, Orlando leads Jacksonville 2-1. 2 minutes are left in the second period. Wheeling leads Kalamazoo 2-0. Wheeling is 3-4 on the season. Kalamazoo is 2-3-1. Also after 2 periods, Reading leads Maine 3-2. Late second period, South Carolina and Savannah are tied at 3. Halfway through the second period, Indy and Cincinnati are tied at 1. First intermission, Fort Wayne leads Toledo 1-0. Also after 1 period, Iowa and Kansas City are tied at 1. That game played at Cable Dahmer Arena. Iowa is 1-6 on the season. Kansas City is 3-2-1. Also after 1 period, no score between Wichita and Tulsa. Wichita's off to a 4-2-1 start. Tulsa is 2-2-1. And we'll keep an eye on the Monument at Rapid City, South Dakota, as the 6-2 Idaho Steelheads take on the 3-5 Rapid City Rush. But Rapid City did get a victory on Wednesday night over Idaho in the first game of that 3-game set in Rapid City, although I think it's actually the 5th straight game that those teams have played against each other. And so that just happens sometimes with some scheduling quirks. I know the Grizzlies later on this season will have a stretch of 6 games against the same opponent. Those are always interesting, especially once you get to like the 5th or 6th game against the other. It's a lot of games and not a whole lot of time against the same opponent. In fact, the Grizzlies are going to play 5 straight games against Idaho, the last 5 games of the 2022 calendar year. December 21st and 23rd at Idaho, and then a 3-game set at Maverick Center, December 28th, 30th, and 31st. Remember that New Year's Eve game is going to start at 5:05. That's going to be the start time of the last game of the 2022 calendar year. So we'll obviously keep an eye on Idaho, as they're the Grizzlies' opponent next week at Maverick Center. They are 6-2 on the season. They're currently in first place in the Mountain Division. It's kind of tough to say. Do you go with standings points or do you go with points percentage? I mean, after all, Tulsa's played 5 games. Idaho and Utah played 8 coming into play tonight. So the standings might say we're going to go by points, but we're going to go off points percentage. Idaho right now is in first place with a 750 points percentage. Wichita is in second at 643. The Grizzlies are in third with a 625 points percentage. Kansas City's in fourth with a 583 points percentage. Tulsa is in fifth with an even 500 points percentage, 5 points in 5 games. Allen is in sixth under the scenario that we are laying out with a 417 points percentage. And Rapid City right now with a 375 points percentage is bringing up the rear. When we come back, we'll talk with Guy Karenza and get his thoughts on what he saw in the first period. Utah leads 1-0 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network. First intermission over at Credit Union of Texas Event Center. I might just rename it the Allen Event Center once again. That's a mouthful. It's kind of like saying Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim back the first few years when they kind of changed that name. But, because obviously then the joke would be, you'd say Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, Orange County, Long Beach, and then all the other different Los Angeles suburbs. As we're joined by Guy Karenza, the shots are pretty even in the first period. The difference in the game is the Grizzlies on the power play getting into the offensive zone. It was almost looked like it was maybe 2 shots on Flodell, and then eventually it was like Cutler was in front of his net, kicked it over to Fitz on the to his right, and then Fitz kind of had an open net and was able to get that second rebound and put it in the back of the net for Utah's goal. And that's the only goal so far in the first period. Otherwise, it seems like it was a pretty evenly played first 20 minutes.
Yeah, pretty wacky sequence of events there with that goal, Tyson. But again, we see Dylan Fitz down inside the paint, getting those greasy goals. And it's a power play goal, and it puts the Grizzlies up. And that was one of the keys to the game, is to get the first goal and to play Grizzlies hockey. And that's exactly what they're doing so far here in the first period.
I think the good thing about this first period is the Grizzlies were able to dictate the tempo a little bit more than they were on Wednesday night. Allen this season, it seems like they want to play a puck possession game. They've got some experienced players like Jack Combs. It's almost like they want to slow the game down a little bit. I mean, they've only allowed 25 shots per game through their first 6 contests. So it almost seems like a higher shot count in a game like this might benefit the Grizzlies.
Well, yeah, of course. Tyson, in a game like this, with the Americans playing the style that they do, they want to keep the puck away from the Grizzlies, because if the Grizzlies have the puck, they're likely going to beat them with their speed. So for the Grizzlies, the key is to make the most of your opportunities when you do have the puck and keep getting shots on goal. We see Flodell in net tonight, and Parasini was good the last time we saw him. Flodell's doing good, all right. Well, he's doing all right so far. But keep testing him. Keep throwing pucks on net, and, like Dylan Fitz, leading by example, screen him. Make life, tough for him. They're making things easy for Miner, who's having a good night so far. Make things difficult for Flodell. Screen him, get tips, anything you can do.
I'm hoping we could talk with Tim Broussard during some of the future home games, because he's a goaltending expert, and he's able to kind of, talk about guys like Trent Miner. And one of the things I noticed in that first period, it looked like Allen tried a lot of low shots on him. Tried to go 5-hole a few times. Jack Combs in a couple occasions where we're shooting low on Trent, which is kind of interesting considering he's about 6'1". You would think maybe there'd be a little bit more room up top than a guy like Garrett Metcalf, who's about 6'5". That was interesting to see him kind of going low on Trent. And we're talking about the rust going into play, not having played a game in 3 weeks. It looked like he had a solid first period.
Yeah, Tyson, we talked about rust in the pregame. I didn't see any rust from Trent Miner. He looked really solid so far, and the Grizzlies defense is making things easy for him. No really tough shots for him or tough saves they had to make. He looks solid so far, and I expect that he only gets better throughout the course of the game.
I think with Brandon Cutler, we noticed him get the assist on the goal, but his speed, he drew a penalty there on that play where Fizer was on the right side. Cutler cut towards the net and drew the hook from Zach Pachiro. That didn't turn out that didn't turn into a goal on that power play, but we talk about the Grizzlies' speed, and I think that it manifests itself on drawing those penalties, getting the hooks and things like that, because we even saw it last year when the Grizzlies played the Americans, where you get those situations where, I'm beat on the play, so instead of allowing the golden opportunity, you're going to hook the guy and hope you get away with it. Allen didn't get away with it in a couple of occasions, and we've seen a lot of penalty minutes from Allen, and most of it has been trying to match with the speed of a team like the Grizzlies.
Yeah, not to sound like a broken record, but that's Grizzlies hockey. That's their speed, is their game. And, guys like Brandon Cutler, that's what makes him so special, is he's got great speed. He's a really good skater. He's got a great shot. And that's just what the Grizzlies do, and that's how they beat teams.
What do you think the Grizzlies need to do here in the second period? If you say play Grizzlies hockey, you're gonna be out the door. I'll kick you out of here. You'll be ejected. So outside of saying we got to play Grizzlies hockey in the second period, what does Utah need to do here in the middle frame to extend the lead?
Well, Tyson, I think it's just more of the same.
You want to say play Grizzlies hockey?
I'm not going to say Grizzlies. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. But it's working, right?
Yep.
The Grizzlies are coming into the period with a 1-0 lead. That's all you can ask for, really. And they're playing a great game so far. They're falling into their rhythm. They're making chemistry. They have chemistry. They got their structure going. They're doing what they do best, and just do more of the same. And like I said before, make life tough for Flodell. Get guys in front of the net. Get a big body like Fitz. Get him in front of the net. Try and get some deflection, some tips. And you know what? I'll throw this in there. Johnny Walker, we haven't said his name much tonight, but it's time he goes and picks a fight. It's time he rustles some feathers, get some momentum on the Grizzlies side, and stir him up a bit.
Johnny Walker, the warm. Maybe it's going to be Nico Blackman for the second straight game going after him. And it's great how, you couldn't say play Grizzlies hockey, so you worked around all the other cliches around playing Grizzlies hockey. That was pretty good work on your part.
Well, thanks, Tyson, but you're the real wordsmith.
Wordsmith, I think I repeated the same 5 words over and over again during the first period. But, hey, we're having some fun here in game 2 of the set, and we'll talk to you during the second intermission.
All right, thank you, Tyson.
That's Guy Carenza. When we come back in 1 minute, we'll have second period action as Utah leads 1-0 on Dylan Fitz's second of the year. And we'll have the second period coming up next as you've been listening to the Siegfried and Jensen Intermission Report right here on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Now we're about set to start the second period of play. Utah leads 1-0. Other than the Dylan Fitz power play goal, it was a pretty evenly played first period. Utah outshot Allen 10-9. Shots been pretty even for the Grizzlies all season long. They have outshot the opposition in 4 of their first 8 games this year. Utah's allowed 30.8 shots per game, and they've taken 30.9. So the shot count for them has been pretty even so far this season. In years past, the Grizzlies would have about an edge of about 4 or 5 shots per game over their opponents. And this year it seems to be pretty close to even, as there's probably as many dogs in attendance as there are people over in Allen, Texas in the middle game of the 3-game set, as 20 minutes are put on the scoreboard clock. And we'll see if the Grizzlies can build on the momentum of the first period, and we'll see if the Grizzlies can really build on what's been a really good start to the season in the second period as Utah wins the draw skating from right to left as the Grizz skate into the offensive zone, right side, and dump it in as Combs gets hit pretty hard as the puck ends up in the slot. Shot saved by Flodell. Rebound goes out to Utah. Now up top, Nielsen with a shot saved by Flodell, and he dives in the puck. Utah hacks away. They looked like for a second they started to celebrate, but no goal as Allen comes back the other way as the Americans will dump it into the right corner, now to the right point. As goes back around the boards, Utah gets it. And we appreciate everybody sticking with us on Flow Sports and YouTube for the audio feed. Flow Sports with the video feed is the exclusive streaming provider as Sekos throws it up ahead, picked out by Hargrove at neutral ice. He'll feed it back into his own zone. Allen throws it from blue line to blue line, but it's taken away by Sekos. He'll dump it to the right side for Raby. Raby centering pass, shot, saved by Flodell. Rebound goes out to Leopard. He skates around the net as the Grizzlies had a pretty good 2-on-1 opportunity. Up ahead, no icing is Chrome. Feeds it out to the high slot as Allen will get to the left circle. Shot, saved by Miner. Rebound, Combs will bounce it off his end wall. Now to Dakota Raby. He'll toss it out to center ice, taken back by Massicott. He's at center ice. He'll drive it in as it rolls around the boards. It goes to the left corner. Pachiro collides with Colatarchi. He'll feed it across to Chrome. Hank's his first name. He'll get to the right point. Gagnon with a shot. Saved by Miner. Colatarchi doing a good job of boxing out Jack Combs out in front of the net. And after the whistle, Zach Pachiro with a push of Brandon Cutler. As Trent Miner has done a good job here in his first start in 3 weeks. What happened, they showed a replay. Sekos was out in front. Had the puck trickle towards the crease, and an Allen player dove and was able to get a stick in the way to clear it out. Great defensive play by the Americans. Boy, it was that close to being a 2-0 game, and I'm putting my fingers about half an inch apart. I knew it was a close call. I didn't know it was quite that close until I saw the replay. Durham will take the face-off for Allen, and he wins it. Durham scored a goal on Wednesday night. It was his first as a pro. Gagnon around the net being shadowed by Pouncey. Gagnon in the corner. Pouncey takes it away. He'll nudge it ahead to Walker. Johnny feeds it across. Now to Fitz. Fitz skates towards the left circle around Durham. Will take a shot. Saved by Flodell. Rebound goes out to the right side. Now McDonald with a shot. Saved by Flodell. Now right circle. Shot that's blocked. As goes back towards Gagnon. He's on the right side. He'll feed it ahead. Allen's still in their own zones. They'll toss it across. Now the Americans will carry it out to center ice from the right wing. Allen dumps it in. As chasing after it's Lord Anthony Grissom, but the whistle blows. 17:52 left in the second, I imagine, without seeing any signal that the Americans were offside, as Lord Anthony Grissom and Tyler Penner share a lighter moment. As Penner talking with Grissom. Tyler's done a pretty good job in the first period, and it seems like every time we've seen some action out in front of the net, it's been Penner that's getting involved. Gagnon is arguing his case with the referee. Looks like he's picked up a penalty, as Ryan Gagnon gets his second penalty of the season, and he's in the box for 2 minutes. Not sure what he did, but he looked like he was pleading his case and arguing. But looked like off the screen that we were able to see Gagnon broke a hockey rule. Cross-checking's the call, 2:08 into the second period, as Ryan Gagnon's in the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. Sekos to take the face-off. Utah leads 1-0 as Utah wins the draw. As the Grizz get it over to the right side. Nobody was at the point as it goes back to center ice. Cutler will feed it across to Pfizer. Terran gets it ahead to Sekos. Now to Cutler. He gains the line, but he gets blasted along the boards by Chris Mallory. Cutler slow to his feet, but he finally gets back up as Allen clears it out. 2.5 minutes left in the second period as the arm was raised by the linesman. What could that call be? As we know, Cutler got blasted pretty good along the near wall. Looked like a clean hit by Mallory. It looks like the draw is going to come back to the American zone. Doesn't look like anybody's going to the box for Allen. I guess it's one of those we kind of had to be there to see what the whistle was blown. Maybe it's another penalty on the Americans. The referee went to talk with Chad Costello, the first-year Allen head coach. Yeah, I guess it's anybody's guess. I guess the good thing is the puck was deep in the Grizzlies zone. After the whistle, it moved all the way back down to the Allen end. 1:37 left in the Grizzlies power play. 17:29 left in the second. It's the Grizzlies 1 and the Americans nothing. Draw won by Utah as we're skating 5-on-4. Now it goes out to center ice, and Nilsson will get it back. As Nilsson will backpedal into his own zone. He'll feed it to right. Cameron steps over the blue line. Gets over to Sekos. Now across to Pfizer. Terran will take a shot. That one goes wide. Oh, he tried to go glove side and didn't miss by much. Sekos tried to keep it in and went out to center ice. And it looks like the officials have called offside on the Grizzlies. 1:12 left in the power play. 17:03 left in the second period. As the draw is going to be at neutral ice. Looks like Sekos is going to stay out there, but the Grizzlies will get Johnny Walker on the ice as they'll make a line change. As Pfizer is back at his neutral zone. Looks like we're going to see the hit on replay that Mallory put on Brandon Cutler. He got up slowly, but luckily he got back up. As Utah wins the faceoff, they'll back it out into their own zone. Halfway through the power play, Utah's 1 for 3 so far on the man advantage. Pfizer at the right side drops it back off for Nilsson. Nilsson fanned on a pass. It slowly gets to right on the left side as he'll get it to Pfizer. Pfizer has a kick back to the center ice logo, taken by Nilsson. Andrew tried to get it to Pfizer as Allen really challenging Utah to neutral ice. Now Walker skates in left side. Shot saved by Flodell. Rebound goes to the right side as Utah spins it along to the left point. Sekos across to Pfizer. He'll skate towards his right, just outside the circle. He'll get it across to Sekos. Sekos winds and fires. Shot and blocks, stick save by Flodell. Out to the right side. Pfizer out behind the net for Walker. He'll feed it up top for Sekos. Now to Nilsson. He'll get to Pfizer. Right side over to Walker to the right of the net. Johnny skates around. Now right circle. Shot saved by Flodell. Allen gets it, and they'll clear it out. As both teams will make a line change. 5 seconds left in the Grizzlies power play. Utah leads 1-0. Now the action. Grizzlies skate in. Shot, save, rebound, shot, and a score! Johnny Walker gets his third of the year as Keaton Jamison skated down the middle. Allen looked like they were ready to make a line change. Jamison's shot was saved by Flodell. Bounced to Walker, who was more on the left side, and Johnny put it away. Oh, you know what happened? We didn't get a good look at the first good look at it, but Walker was on the left side, centered it to Jamison. Jamison took the shot that blocked that hit off of Flodell, went back to Walker, and Johnny had an open net and put it away. So it's Walker's third goal of the season. He scored 2 goals last Saturday against Kansas City, and that'll be Keaton Jamison's first point of the season. Jamison gets an assist, and he's played a pretty good game. Unfortunately, we didn't get a good look at the play the first time, but it was a 2-on-1, it looked like, for the Grizzlies, as Dylan Fitz talking it over with the referee and one of the linesmen, as it kind of looked like a 2-on-1 where Walker centered it to Jamison and bounced off of Flodell, and Walker was on the left side and had it all alone. So Johnny Walker gets his third goal of the season. Remember, he's Arizona State's all-time leading goal scorer. He also has the record for points. He also has a few other records in Arizona State Sun Devil history. Utah wins the draw. They're up by 2. Connor McDonald dumps it in. No icing as the Grizzlies have it in the corner. Utah gets bounced as they feed it up top. Allen picks it off as they'll cross center ice. 3-on-3. Good poke check by Bryson Martin. It stays at neutral ice. Allen carries it back in. Left side to the circle. Take a lefty shot. Saved by Miner. And he holds on. Good job by Connor McDonald out in front of the net. As it looked like it started to roll away from Miner. And McDonald kind of nudged it back to the goaltender. Trent's done a good job here tonight. Allowed a rebound there, but McDonald was in the right place, and there wasn't an American in the area as both teams make a line change. Draws in the Grizzly zone. 15:23 left in the second period. As Johnny Walker scores his third goal in his last 3 games, Keaton Jamison picks up his first point of the year. It was late in the power play. It might even be an even strength goal for the Grizzlies. Jamison and Trent Miner with the assist. The Grizzlies goaltender with the outlet pass gets an assist for the Grizz. Allen wraparound shot saved by Miner. That was taken by Jackson Leopard as we're back to live action. As Sekos crosses center ice, he'll feed a right wing pass to Cam Strong. He skates towards the corner, being shadowed by Mallory. Strong gets hit as Hargrove battling. Strong with Sekos nearby. There's action behind the Allen net. 5 minutes into the second period. Mallory gets it. He tried to nudge it ahead to Leopard. It goes back to Mallory. Now he gets it to Leopard. As Jackson Leopard gets it taken away by Wright. He'll feed the middle. Taken back by Mallory, who seems to have cloned himself and is in 2 places at one time. As the Americans will bounce it off the near wall. It goes to center ice. As Allen will nudge it across to Leopard. He'll skate into the left side. And he loses the puck, as it didn't seem like the Americans were too eager to join Leopard on the play. Left wing pass to Strom. He'll step over the offensive line as he gets held up. Puck ends up trickling to the left circle. Strong will get it to Cutler. Brandon shot saved by Flodell, and he holds on. Good job by Allen. If Flodell would have allowed a rebound there, Cutler could have had a good second chance. Pfizer is on the right side, and Cutler maybe could have nudged it across. But Flodell holds on. 14-19 left in the second. Grizz with an offensive zone draw. Let's see about the shot count here. It looks like Utah's had a pretty strong edge in the second period. Utah has outshot Allen 9-4 in the second. Johnny Walker scored a 5-on-5 goal, 4:10 into the second. Keaton Jamison and Trent Miner with the assists. Offensive zone faceoff won by Allen. As Massacott will get the puck. He'll feed it out to center ice. Bounces off a stick. Utah gets it back. Pfizer over to Raby. Raby on the left side trying to feed it across. Now to the right point. Shot. Glove saved by Flodell. I believe that was taken by Jordan Stone. Maybe. He was on the right side. He was off the screen when he took the shot. Flodell made the glove stop. 14:05 left in the second. Trying to figure out if it's the first time we've seen Flodell. Luke's his first name. He played for the Belleville Senators in the AHL a little bit. That is the Belleville Senators, and the Ottawa Senators are the affiliate of the Allen Americans this season. He played in 3 games with Belleville last year. Also has experience with South Carolina and Reading in this league, where he possibly was a teammate of Cam Strong's, who played for both teams last season. Puck at neutral ice. Grizzlies dump it in as Allen takes it away about halfway from the blue line to the goal line. Allen back behind their net as they skate from left to right here in the second period. Allen gets out to neutral ice. They'll bounce it off of Walker. Walker, the goal scorer. He'll nudge it back now to neutral ice. Fits in the left wing. Gets it poked away. Allen crosses center. Now they'll gain the lines. They'll veer off to the left circle as Hank Crone gets it poked away by Penner. Tyler gets it 3-on-2. He'll get ahead to Fitz. He'll skate it down the middle. Looked for a shot and fanned on it a little bit. So he tried to go towards his backhand. Walker behind the net gets it to Fitz. Fitz tries to feed Nilsson in the point. Allen picked it off. 3-on-3. Allen steps over the offensive line. Penner with a good back check as he tries to chip it to the right corner for McDonald. Back to Penner as action deep in the Grizzlies zone. Crone battling with McDonald. He gets to Penner. He'll nudge it to Fitz. Dillon will cross center ice left wing and dump it in. And it must have bounced off a skate or something as it goes back towards Gagnon as it didn't go all the way to the corner. Now the Americans with good speed cross center ice. They'll dump it in. Now it goes back to neutral ice. They couldn't quite dump it in deeply as the Americans out to center ice. And Nico Blackman dumps it back in as Penner deep in the Grizzlies zone will throw it ahead. Strong over to Sekos. Back to Strong. He crosses center ice down the middle. He'll step over the line, get to the right side for Sekos. Sekos gets back checked on the right, left side. Shot. That one goes wide as he tried to go stick side on Flodell. As puck ends up back to center ice. Pouncey gets it. Pouncey back into his own zone. Skates towards his left. Gets it to Sekos. Back to Pouncey. Now he feeds it to the far corner. Grizzlies still in their own zone. Get it to Sekos. Now to center ice for Wright. He tried to dump it in, but it bounced off the body of Colton Sosserman. He'll feed it across. 8 minutes into the second period, Utah leads 2-0 as Dylan Fitz and Johnny Walker have the goals. Utah gets it on a turnover. Right side, righty shot and a score! Cameron Wright went top shelf on Flodell, and he's made it a 3-0 game. Boy, Allen turned it over, and Cameron Wright was to the right side. He had Strong cutting towards the middle, but Wright called his own number. Boy, that's top shelf where Mama hides the cookie jar. Cameron Wright was able to get some cookies as he's made it a 3-0 game as he gets his third goal of the season. That's the first non-game winner for Cameron Wright as Utah scored 3 on Flodell here in the first half of the contest, and it's a 3-0 game. Well, an Allen turnover led to that goal, and I kind of had a feeling with the strong first period performance from Cameron Wright, he was going to find a way to get on the stat sheet here in the second. Looks like Chad Costello isn't too happy with his club. He has called a timeout, and he is going to give his team a tongue lashing. Looks like they're going to go to a wide shot, so we can't read lips. It's probably a good thing that we can't read lips, is I don't think he's praying right now. In fact, I don't think he's happy at all. Flodell skates over there. We'll keep an eye if we can to see if he stays in the game or if they're going to go to Luke Parasini. As Chad Costello has called a timeout to give his team a tongue lashing after Cameron Wright found the back of the net after Allen turned the puck over. Right now it's listed as unassisted. We'll see if they'll add an assist or if it's going to be unassisted for Wright. Wright got an assist in the overtime game winner on Wednesday night. But what a start for Utah. You know, we talked about it in the first intermission about how the Grizzlies, going to carry on in the second period. Johnny Walker scores 4:10 in with Jamison and Trent Miner getting the assist, and Cameron Wright finding the back of the net 4 minutes later. As the puck is in the Grizzly zone after Allen won the faceoff, as it goes towards Connor McDonald. Watch for Allen to be strong here in the next few shifts as they want to try to get back in this game. Grizzlies are going to have to make sure that they play hard because Allen looks like they're coming out of the timeout playing hard themselves. Puck goes from blue line to blue line. Allen gets it as they'll feed it across. Americans will nudge it ahead. Pass goes past Zach Pachuro deep into the Grizzlies zone. No icing. Turnover left point. Shot on it, hits the pipe. Grizzlies turned it over and almost paid for it. As Allen back to neutral ice. Now they'll regain the line. Pachuro will dump it into the left corner. I think it was Pachuro that took the shot that ended up hitting the post. As the Grizzlies to the right side. Raby feeds it to his corner. Battling with Jack Combs. 2-on-2 deep in the Grizzlies' end. As Raby continues to battle. Pushes Crone towards the point. Now to the right side. Allen in the corner. Nilsson boxing out Allen. He pushes Allen along the boards. Penner over there as well. McDonald comes out of the pile with the puck. As Utah feeds it across. Nilsson over to Raby at center ice. He'll dump it in. Good shift by the Grizzlies. Allen wants to come out strong after allowing that turnover to make it 3-0. Big hit in the near corner as Allen carries it out to center ice. As Jackson Leopard, right side, he's all alone. He'll take a shot. It's blocked by Martin. Now Leopard with a shot. It got blocked before it got to Martin as well. Hargrove fed it to the point, picked off by Fitz. Fitz gets hit pretty hard by Grissom. Now it's the Grizzlies. Getting over to Dylan Fitz, left side. He'll take a shot that goes wide. He tried to go glove side on Flodell, who's still in the game. As Fitz over on the right side, Jamison gets over to Fitz. He'll feed it to the right circle where it's taken by Gagnon for Allen. As halfway through the contest, he'll get behind his goaltender and feed it to the near side. Now back to Gagnon as Utah leads 3-0 halfway through. Allen crosses center ice and dumps it in. Miner behind his net. Will feed it over to the right side. Now it gets kicked to the slot for Pouncey. Grizzlies attack from right to left. As Sekos dumps it in from, I thought he crossed center ice, but looks like he didn't, as icing is called on the Grizzlies with 9:35 left in the second. In the second period, Utah has outshot Allen 11-4. Right now, Wright's goal is listed as unassisted, as it was off a turnover and had a they had a 2-on-1. Allen could have gotten on the board, but Zach Pacheco shot from the left side, which came off a turnover. Grizzlies tried to clear it out and went right to and wide open. Zach Pacheco on the left side. He hit the post as the Grizzlies, well, they avoided danger there as Allen wins the draw. Right point shot goes wide as it rolls along the far boards. Jamison trying to clear it out, and puck stays in the corner. Now he gets it back. Couldn't clear it out there as it's on the left side. Allen fires a shot that goes wide. Grizzlies along the near boards, battling with Hank Chrome as Wright gets it, and he'll carry it out of the zone himself. He'll skate down the middle, cross center ice, and he'll try to drive it into the left corner, but that one got blocked by Sossaman. Now Wright tries to get around Sossaman. Out in front, he tries to feed it to the right side, does right, and the pass goes wide. Now it's a neutral ice. Sekos gets it. He'll throw it back to Colatarchi. Now ahead the Grizzlies. McDonald with a right wing pass. Utah steps over the offensive line. Grizzlies drop it off for Sekos in the slot back to the right circle. Utah skates in. Looking for a backhand shot is right, but it gets blocked. Allen crosses center ice 1-on-2. They'll feed it to the left side for Mallory. Mallory, far side near the boards, fires a shot, saved by Miner. So it was a quick-looking shot by Chris Mallory, but Trent holds on without a rebound. 8:35 is left in the second. It's the Grizzlies 3 and the Americans nothing. Timeout on the ice. We'll take one as well. The Grizzlies are up by a field goal here on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Rio Tinto.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Utah Grizzlies hockey all season long is brought to you by Siegfried and Jensen, your personal injury attorneys. Grizzlies hockey also brought to you by Maverick, Adventure's first stop, and by Coca-Cola, where real magic is only a sip away. Grizzlies hockey also brought to you by America First Credit Union. Don't forget, next Friday at Maverick Center is the second AFCU Friday of the season. And with AFCU Fridays, tickets start at just $8 when you pay using your AFCU debit or credit card at the Maverick Center box office. Dylan Fitz got Utah on the board 10:30 into the contest. It was a power play goal. Nielsen and Cutler with the assists. As Utah led 1-0 after one period, Johnny Walker lit the lamp, 4:10 in, as he got a rebound off a Keaton Jamison shot. Trent Miner also got an assist on that play. Cameron Wright scored unassisted 8:09 into the second to make it 3-0. As Utah wins the faceoff, they skate from right to left. Pfizer to the right circle, takes a shot. Saved by Flodell. He holds on, but the Grizzlies won the faceoff and utilized their speed, skating down there on a 2-on-2. Pfizer skated towards the right side on a kind of a tough angle near the corner, and Flodell was able to make the stop. That's the Grizzlies utilizing their speed right there, winning the faceoff and going quickly from end to end. One of the things that Allen, with his experience as they were last year, they did lack a little bit of speed. Looks like the Grizzlies want to utilize their speed a little bit more against Allen and play that up-tempo game. 8:26 left in the second period. Happy Veterans Day to everybody. And it is good that over the last few years that Veterans Day has gotten more recognition than it has in years past. Looks like there's a timeout. We're back in 30 seconds. Utah leads 3-0 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Utah leads 3-0. The Grizz have now outscored opponents 13-5 in the second periods this season. It's the second of 12 meetings between the Grizzlies and Americans. They met 5 times last year. Utah went 5-0 against them. 2 years ago, they met 18 times in the regular season and another 3 times in the playoffs as Allen swept Utah in a 5-game series, 3-0. Draw deep in the Allen zone. It's won by Allen. They're back in their corner as Skelly will feed it to Massicott. He'll skate towards the near side. He'll feed it to Leopard. He battles with Raby along the near wall. As Leopard and Raby continue to battle, Leopard goes down. Oh, they're going to call Raby for tripping, I believe. As Raby and Leopard were battling along the boards for about 5 or 6 seconds, and then Leopard hit the ice, and Dakota Raby is called for tripping. If it's not tripping, it's something related to that. As he's in the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. As Raby gets 2 minutes for tripping. Have you or someone you know been charged with a DUI? Rogers and Russell is Utah's DUI defense firm. Consequences for driving under the influence in Utah are serious, and you need great attorneys on your first line. Look for a letter from the mail from Rogers and Russell inviting you to schedule a free consultation. Don't throw away or disregard this letter. Call and get Utah's best DUI defense team, Rogers and Russell. Off the drop, Utah clears it back into the Allen zone as Raby gets 2 minutes for tripping. As there's less than 8 minutes left in the second period, Allen skates from left to right as they cross center. Right wing, they dump it in, and chasing after it is Colton Sosserman. As there's a collision along the end wall, puck's over in the far corner. As Hank Crone chips it back to Sosserman. He's in the left point near the Allen bench. He'll nudge it ahead as Crone over along the boards. McDonald hits Pachiro and clears it out to center ice. Good job by Connor McDonald clearing it out. Allen re-enters from the right side as Hargrove will skate towards the corner, kind of slowly. Now up top to Sosserman. He'll skate towards his left. He'll take a shot, saved by Miner. Rebound. Oh, Hargrove couldn't convert on it as the puck glided off his stick. Hargrove gets it back in the corner. He tries to throw a cross-ice pass. It's picked off by Sekos, who clears it out. Flodell behind his net will bounce it off the end wall. He'll get to Mallory. As Chris, the former Grizzly, he was with Utah in the first half of the 2020-21 season. He'll skate around the net. Now feed a pass to the far side as Allen will nudge a left wing pass into the zone. They look to center it, but everybody stops skating as the Americans are called offside. 6:51 is left here in the second. 43 seconds left in the Allen power play. Grizzlies penalty kill so far this season, 80.6%, which is tied for 11th best in the league. Draw is going to be at neutral ice. Grizzlies wearing the black jerseys. It seems like the entire road trip with white numbers, white on the elbows, white letters in the back, a little bit of professional green trim. As Allen wins the face-off, they'll dump it off the boards. They enter the zone. Allen feeds it across as they're along the left wing. They'll chip it up top for Mallory. He'll get it to the right side. Massicott with a shot saved by Miner. The puck ends up back with Allen. They'll get it back to Massicott. They'll feed it up top for Mallory. He'll throw a left wing pass. Allen's in the circle. Lefty shot saved by Miner, and it deflects out of play off the protective netting. 14 seconds left in the Allen power play. Good job by Trent Miner as he has looked sharp. There was a little bit of a concern since he hadn't played a game in 3 weeks about a little bit of rust setting in. But Trent has done the job here so far tonight. The Grizzlies road trip concludes tomorrow night. 5:50 pregame show, 6:05 face-off. We'll be right here in the studios once again as Utah has done pretty good. You know, they've had a pretty good road trip so far, 4-2. The best they can do if they win tonight and tomorrow is 6-2. As Jamison will take the draw against Leopard late in the Allen power play. Utah wins the draw, and they sell it all the way down the ice. Flodell stays in front of his net as the Americans will prepare for life after the power plays. They'll feed a right wing pass to get out to center ice. Raby will join the play after coming out of the box. Allen dumps it in deep as the Americans try to feed it out in front. Picked off by Raby as he gets it across the center ice. Tries to dump it in. It bounced off of a body. And now we got a whistle Looked like the linesman was pointing towards the blue line, offside to the Grizzlies. 5:55 left in the second. There's a timeout on the ice, and we'll take one as well. It's the Grizzlies 3 and the Americans nothing. We're back in 1 minute. This is Utah Grizzlies hockey, presented by Rio Tinto.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
It's 3-0 Grizzlies, 5:55 left in the second period. Other games involving Mountain Division opponents. Rapid City leads Iowa 1-0. That game with 5.5 minutes left in the first. Second intermission, Wichita leads Tulsa 1-0. Kansas City leads Iowa 3-2 with 2.5 minutes left in the second period. And we'll go over all the scores from around the league during the second intermission. Utah leads 3-0. Dylan Fitz scored 10:30 into the first period. Utah's got second period goals from Johnny Walker and Cameron Wright. Wright converted off an Allen turnover, 8:09 in. And at that point, Chad Costello used his one timeout to let his team know that he wasn't too happy with their performance. Allen has come out pretty strong over the last 6 minutes as neither team has scored. Allen wins the neutral zone draw. They skate from left to right. As we see it on Flow Sports, your mind's eye see it on Mixler. They enter the zone, left point, and dump it into the corner. As Allen's skating over there, they nudge it towards the end wall. As the Americans skate back towards the point, now they feed it up top. Allen over towards Skelly. One-timer, saved by Miner. As Trent glided towards his left a little bit to make that stop. Trent so far tonight has stopped all 17 that he has seen. For Allen, or the ECHL app has Luke Parasini starting for them, but it's been Logan Flodell, he probably fits Flow Sports pretty well because he spells his name Flodell. Flodell on Flow Sports tonight has stopped 19 of 22. Draws in the right circle, won by Utah's Bryson Martin. Gets over to Pouncey. Pouncey behind the net wearing number 23. He'll feed it towards the near side. Grizzlies will nudge it out to center ice. Now Sekos at center will drop it off for Jamison. He gets it poked away by Saucerman. As the Americans out to the right side, step over the line, 2-on-3. They try to feed it to the right circle for Combs. Utah picks it off. Right crosses center ice. He'll gain the line, feed it to the right side for Sekos, but the whistle blows as Utah is offside. And after the play, Saucerman with a push. Jamison skates over there. As looks like one of Allen's bigger guys wants to get after Cameron Wright. You know, we talk about people wanting to go after Johnny Walker, but it seems like just as many opposing players want to get after Cameron Wright for some reason. When I talked with Connor McDonald before the season opener about Cameron Wright, those guys were teammates at Bowling Green for a couple of years. He had kind of mentioned that Cameron Wright was a rat, but a rat in a good way, in a productive way, in the kind of way that you want on your team, and in some cases you need on your team. Cameron Wright does all the dirty work, and we've seen it here early in the season. He's more than just scoring goals. He's a guy that plays a complete game. Draw's going to be at neutral ice. It'll be interesting to see if anybody drops the gloves. We haven't seen a really good fight yet this season, and we're at game 9. So we'll see if anybody drops the gloves as Allen wins the face-off, crosses center ice, and dumps it in. Fits over in the corner, collides. As Allen over there, now 2 Grizzlies and 2 Americans battling in the corner. Nilsson will nudge it ahead. Now goes back to Tyler Penner. He's racing down the boards as he collides with Gagnon over in the Allen corner. Penner over to Walker. He takes a shot that goes wide. And somebody threw Johnny Walker into the post. And just like that, the Worm gets involved in front of the net. As I think Allen thought he got a little bit too close to Logan Flodell. And now Dylan Fitz wants to get after it with Anthony Durham. Durham's got a little bit of size on him as Durham pushes Fitz into the boards. And Fitz, is he going to drop the gloves? Looks like Fitz keeps his glove on as his helmet's sort of coming off. Durham now pushes Fitz, and you wonder, down 3-0, if Allen's going to try to set a physical tone here late in the second period. The referee, I think, spotted all of it. Fitz is going to the box, but so is Durham. As those guys, there was a lot of mixing up after Walker and Durham. Boy, Durham threw Walker into the goalpost, into the crossbar. Durham, I think, thought Walker got a little bit too close to Flodell, and then Fitz jumped in as Walker was on his keister, and then Durham decided to, rough it up with Fitz a little bit. So it's going to be penalties either way. If you're a Grizzlies fan, you probably say that Durham should get a little bit more than Fitz, but I imagine it could be matching roughing minors. And that's what Johnny Walker does. He gets out in front of the net, but he doesn't just get to the crease area. He gets in your face out in front of the net. I imagine, he scored his goals in a variety of ways at Arizona State. He's got a pretty good shot, but he also, is out there in front of the net trying to redirect shots and things like that. So Fitz and Durham look like they've got 2 minutes each, even though it looked like Durham was doing a little bit more roughing than Fitz. So they're going to skate 4-on-4 for 2 minutes. 4:41 is left in the second. Utah leads 3-0. And with the speed that Utah has, they are one of the smaller teams in the league, so teams will try to play Utah physical. And, the Grizzlies just have to hold their ground, and they've done a pretty good job of that so far this season. So it looks like we'll skate 4-on-4. Fitz and Durham get matching roughing minors, 15-19 in. As the Grizzlies win the neutral zone draw, McDonald get it back to Nilsson. Obviously, the ice opens up a little bit more in a 4-on-4 situation. Cutler gets it. He crosses center ice. He'll skate towards the left. Cutler towards the circle. He'll get around Skelly. Now Cutler around the net. He's to the right side. Gets it to Nilsson. I tried to feed it out in front to Sekos, and Allen picked it off. Americans throw a right-wing pass, and they'll skate to the right circle. Chrome with a shot, and he scores. Hank Chrome gets his third of the year as he skated to the right circle. He was all alone, and he went top shelf, glove side on Trent Miner. And so with 4:16 left in the second, the Americans get their first goal of the game. Hank Chrome just skated along to the right circle, and there wasn't much Trent Miner could do as he was all alone, and Hank Chrome looks to be a pretty good player as he's had an impressive-looking series. Not a very big guy, but he's got a ton of speed. And so the Americans get their first goal of the game. And it's Hank Chrome in a 4-on-4 situation. We'll stay 4-on-4 for the next minute 35 as fans chant red, red, as they got one of the better goal songs in this league. We'll see who ends up getting the assist when they post it on the box score, but Hank Chrome gets his third of the year. Utah wins the draw. Bryson Martin back in his own end. So he'll feed it to the left side. Cameron Wright will throw it towards the Allen bench on the far side. Taken by Pouncey. Kyle stops at his blue line, feeds it out to center ice for Wright. He'll nudge it across to Martin, who steps over the offensive line. As Martin gets taken away in the left point, puck ends up gliding towards the slot. Allen takes it as Hargrove skates around his net, and he'll get it out to center ice. He'll nudge it to his left. Now the Americans will skate towards the offensive corner, spin it along the wall. It's back to the right point as Sauceman feeds it to the left side. Allen with a shot, saved by Miner. Trent holds on, but you can see the Americans building a little bit of momentum. After the whistle, Jackson Leopard and Kyle Pouncey collide. Leopard with a push of Pouncey. Now Cameron Wright gets pushed in the face by an Allen skater. We were wondering when play was starting to get physical, and just about the time I was thinking, maybe we would see some fisticuffs. Play starting to get physical as Cameron Wright and Jackson Leopard exchange some words. Looks like Hargrove wants to get after Wright as well. Looks like Hargrove's going to be escorted to the penalty box. So Hargrove goes to the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. He joins Anthony Durham in the box. It doesn't look like anybody's going for Utah, so the Grizzlies are going to get a power play out of this. They were skating 4-on-4, and looks like the Grizzlies are going to skate towards their bench. Now Jack Combs, the assistant captain, but their captain Spencer Asachuk's out with an injury. He's talking over with the referee, Alec Rounds. Might be the first time we've seen Alec Rounds. He's one of the newer officials in the league. Grizzlies are going to be, well, let's see, we're counting bodies. And there's 3 for Allen and 4 for Utah. So they're going to skate 4-on-3 for 54 seconds. So ice opens up a little bit more in this situation. 4-on-3 for 54 seconds. Utah looking for a second period insurance goal. They lead 3-1. Zach Sekos and Jack Combs will take the draw. Combs has got a ton of professional experience. He's seen just about all there can be to see. Combs over a point a game in his career, if I remember right. Sekos, either he broke a stick or something, or he's kicked out of the faceoff circle. There's a crowd having a good time. There's a person with a Canada hoodie. Sekos, I imagine, was able to get a new stick. He wins the draw. Nilsson, the puck goes past Nilsson out to neutral ice. Weiser backs it out in his own zone. He'll skate down the middle. Now feed it to Nilsson. Now to the left side. Sekos enters the zone, gets to Walker. Now to Nilsson. He's in the left point. He'll skate to his right. He'll get it to Sekos. High slot. Sekos gets to Nilsson. One-timer. That one gets blocked by Flodell. Stick side. And it goes back across the boards. Weiser on the left. 25 seconds left in the 4-on-3. He'll get it to Sekos. Zach in the slot. And he'll get it to Nilsson, who fakes a one-timer, gathers it. And now he'll switch spots with Sekos. Now Nilsson with a shot saved by Flodell. And Gagnon will clear it out. Miner behind his net will take it. And looks like that will be it for the 4-on-3. As coming out of the penalty box will be Durham for Allen and Fitz for Utah. Now it's a 5-on-4 for a minute. As Grizzlies still on the power play. Cutler feeds it across to right. Right with a shot. Saved by Flodell. Rebound out in front. Allen clears it out. It goes to center ice. Nilsson will back it out himself into the Grizzlies zone. Now restart the attack as he skates down the middle. He'll feed it to the right side of the Allen blue line. As Weiser tried to kick it to the corner. Allen got there in the right circle to pick it off. 40 seconds left in the power play. 2:13 left in the second. They'll clear it all the way out towards Trent Miner as it bounced off the stick of Cameron Wright. Everybody stopped skating as it looks like we've got a whistle. I wonder if Utah committed a penalty there. As Miner touched it up and then they blew the whistle. Now it looks like there's 5 out there for Utah, but the draw is going to be in the Grizzlies zone. Utah leads 3-1. Cutler will take the face off. And bear with us if you're listening and watching on YouTube, as some of the details can be murky from time to time. Martin will feed it to center ice. It's the first time I've ever used the term murky on a Grizzlies broadcast in 4+ seasons. Allen deep in their own zone will toss it ahead as Utah leads 3-1. As the Americans will bounce it off the glass, goes to Nilsson. 10 seconds left in the Grizzlies power play. As Martin will feed it to Cutler. Brandon skates down the middle. Now he'll step over the line, veer off to the left. Right back to Cutler in the corner. Cutler around to the right wing. Allen's out of the penalty box. Combs throws it to center ice, and it hits off an Allen stick deep into the Grizzlies zone. As the Grizzlies skate towards the right side, they'll get it to McDonald. Connor around the net. Will feed it to center ice. Grizzlies will step over the offensive line. Wright drops it off for Cutler on the left side. As Brandon over to Fitz. Fitz back to Cutler. One-timer. Kick save by Flodell. As the rebound goes to the corner, Allen will bounce it off the glass. It goes over the head of Bryson Martin. And it looks like we get a whistle. Martin might have played it with a high stick at neutral ice as a whistle blows. 1:06 left in the second. We'll see if either team in the final minute of this second period can pick up some momentum heading into the dressing room. Utah scored the first 3 goals of the game. And then on a 4-on-4 situation, Hank Crone was left unattended in the right side. He skated towards the circle and scored. Time of goal 15:44 in. Skelly and Massicott with the assist. I think that might be Massicott's first professional point, if I remember right. As Utah wins the face-off, Nilsson will nudge it ahead. He'll feed it across. Less than a minute left in the second. As Kolatarchi will get it to the right side, dumping it in. As Allen plays it to the side of their net, they feed it to the near corner. As Jamison over back towards Sekos. Now to Nilsson, left side, shot saved by Flodell. He holds on with 39 seconds left. Jamison and Straw were out in front trying to redirect it, but Flodell was able to secure it cleanly. Grizzlies with an offensive zone draw, and I think you have to like the way the first 2 periods have come across for the Grizzlies. You know, we were talking about before the game who was going to dictate the tempo and pace of the contest, and it looks like, for the most part, the Grizzlies have been able to dictate the style to their liking. Whereas it seemed like on Wednesday, the Grizzlies were playing Allen's style a little bit too much. Today, the Grizzlies are able to utilize their speed a little bit more against this Allen group. Americans win the face-off. Turnover. Raby to the slot. I tried to get it over to Sekos, and Allen poked it away. Good job by the Americans. They've shown some active sticks this week. Skating deep into the Grizzlies zone, Connor McDonald. He gets pounded to the boards by Marcel Godbout. Now it's taken by Leopard, left side. I tries to feed it out in front to Hargrove. Utah poked it away as Pfizer crosses center ice. 14 seconds left in the second period. We're skating 5-on-5. Pfizer around the net, gets hit by Mallory. Raby tried to get it back to Pfizer. Terran skates to the corner. He gets double-teamed. And Raby's over there as well. And puck stays in the corner, and that will do it for second period action. As the Grizzlies scored twice in the second period, Allen scored once. Johnny Walker and Cameron Wright found the back of the net to turn a 1-0 lead into a 3-0 contest. Hank Crone scored his third of the year on a 4-on-4 situation about two-thirds of the way through the second period to get the Americans on the board. Utah is still up by 2 goals. Utah's looking to win 4 in a row as they've got a 3-game winning streak, and they've got 20 minutes with a 2-goal lead. We'll see if they'll hold on to it, and we'll see if Allen ends up scoring one early in the third period to make it a game. The score after 40 minutes of play over at Credit Union of Texas Event Center, the Utah Grizzlies 3 and the Allen Americans 1. Siegfried and Jensen intermission report is coming up next on the Grizzlies Hockey Network. Second intermission over in Allen, Texas. Utah leads 3-1. If you joined us late, defenseman Nate Klerman was recalled to the AHL's Colorado Eagles. He is replaced in the Grizzlies lineup by Jordan Stone. Stone's got 1 shot on goal for the Grizzlies in his season debut, the 2022-23 campaign. Jordan played in 18 games for the Grizzlies last season. 2 days ago, prior to Wednesday's series opener against Allen, Ben Tardif was called up to the AHL's Colorado Eagles as well. Earlier in the week, I think it was Monday, that Trent Miner got reassigned to the Grizzlies from Colorado, and he's been strong in net, stopping 18 of 19, and the only goal scored by Allen was kind of on a pretty much, it was skating down the right side, but it was pretty much a breakaway by Hank Crone, who was all alone and could do whatever he wanted to. He got to the circle and just went top shelf over Trent Miner's left shoulder, and there wasn't really anything Trent could do about it. It was a good shot by Crone, who's been one of Allen's most impressive forwards so far in this series. Crone looks like he's got a bright future. He's a +3 coming into play tonight. And so that was how Allen got on the board. But before that, the Grizzlies scored 3 unanswered. They lead 3-1 as the Grizz have won 3 in a row, and they look to make it 4 in a row. And we talked about it before the season started. This 8-game road trip, we're going to find out a lot about the Grizzlies, and really we're going to find out a lot about the Grizzlies' opponents. We're going to play Allen 12 times this season. This is game 2 of 12 as Utah won in overtime on Wednesday night, 3-2, as Connor McDonald, the Grizzlies captain, got the game winner with 13 seconds and it left in overtime. So, we're going to find out a lot about Allen. Did they improve their team speed? They do look pretty similar to last year's club. They've got decent goaltending. Parasini was good on Wednesday. Flodell so far tonight has stopped 25 of 28. But for the most part, it's been the Grizzlies dictating the tempo a little bit more tonight, playing their kind of brand of hockey and utilizing their speed just a little bit more against an Allen team that might be a step slow. So it'll be interesting to see in the third period if Allen's able to dictate it a little bit more or if the Grizzlies are going to come out on top for their 4th straight victory. Also, if you joined us late, Utah led 1-0 after 1 period. Dylan Fitz scored 10:30 into the contest. Nilsson and Cutler with the assists. Andrew Nilsson now has 7 power play assists of the season. He leads all league defensemen with 11 assists. And remember, he's the reigning league player of the week as he had 6 assists last Saturday in a 7-3 victory over Kansas City. The night before, the Grizzlies won in overtime. Cameron Wright got the game winner, and Danielson had 1 goal and 1 assist in that game. So it's been an outstanding stretch of hockey for Andrew Nelson. With the power play goal, Utah took a 1-0 lead. It stayed 1-0 throughout the rest of the first period. Utah outshot Allen 10-9 in the first. In the second period, Grizzlies had 18 shots to Allen's 10. Utah's 1 for 5 on the power play. They didn't score on the man advantage in the second period. Neither did Allen. But late, right after a power play, as Allen went to the penalty box, Ryan Gagnon got a cross-checking Miner, 2:08 in, and 2 seconds after that penalty, after he came out of the penalty box, he came out of the box 4:08 in, and 2 seconds later, the Grizzlies scored. It looked like a 2-on-1. Unfortunately, we didn't get a good look at the play live. Luckily, we were able to see a replay. Looked like Walker was on the left side. Jamison was skating down the middle. Walker threw a centering pass out in front to Jamison. Jamison's shot bounced off of Flodell, went back to Walker on the left side, and Johnny at that point pretty much had an open net, and he put it away for his 3rd goal of the season. Jamison got an assist, but how about this? Trent Miner also got an assist on the play. If I remember right, Miner had it, and then somehow the camera went somewhere else for a few seconds. And so it looked like, from what I saw, it was an outlet pass from Miner all the way to Walker, and then Walker skated in, centered it to Jamison, and then off the pads of Flodell back to Walker, who put it away. That made it a 2-0 game. And then Allen turned it over on the right side, right skated towards the right circle, and he went top shelf on Logan Flodell. And there wasn't much Flodell could do about that. It was a grade A opportunity by a really good goal scorer. Wright put it away for his 3rd of the season. It is an unassisted goal. At that point, it became 3-0 Utah. Chad Costello used his 1 timeout as he was very unhappy. And really, it was the turnover that led to it that he was unhappy about. And so he let his team have it. And obviously, after something like that, there's going to be a little bit of momentum picked up by Allen, both physically and just with effort. Allen played pretty physical the remainder of the second period, and it looked like the effort was pretty good. We got to a 4-on-4 situation as Dylan Fitz and Anthony Durham each got roughing Miners, 15-19 in, and 25 seconds later, Allen finally got on the board as Hank Chrome skated in from the right side. He pretty much could do what he wanted to, and it looked like his shot of choice was to skate to the circle right there at the dot and go top shelf on Trent Miner as he went glove side. And like I mentioned, Allen's most impressive forward so far this weekend might be Chrome, who picked up his 3rd goal of the season. The assist went to Dalton Skelly and Zach Massicott. And we're checking to see if that's Massicott's first professional point, as I think he is in his first season as a pro. But nevertheless, Utah still leads 3-1. The special teams have played a factor again tonight. Utah's 1 for 5 on the power play, while Allen is 0 for 2. Logan Flodell has stopped 25 of 28. Utah's Trent Miner has saved 18 of 19. A lot of action in the league tonight. First intermission, Rapid City leads Idaho 1-0 as Ryan Zulsdorf found the back of the net, 5:04 in. Nikolaev and Aliardi with the assist. That was an even strength goal. Both teams with 9 shots. And there's only been 1 power play in the game as Willie Niram got a boarding Miner. And Rapid City leads at home 1-0 over the Idaho Steelheads. Rapid City is 3-5 on the year. Idaho is 6-2. And we'll keep an eye on the Steelheads throughout this game and tomorrow night as well, as they are the Grizzlies' opponent next week for a 3-game set. Next Thursday is the Grizzlies' next home game. And that's going to be a lot of fun. A rare Thursday home game for the Grizzlies. And throughout the broadcast, we've been talking about next Friday. We've seen so many dogs in attendance in Allen tonight. The Grizzlies' annual Pooch on the Pond is next Friday as they take on the Idaho Steelheads, where you can bring your dog to the game. I think there's going to be a photo booth and a dog parade and all sorts of fun stuff. That's next Friday. Pooch on the Pond here at Maverick Center, the tradition that lives on. And speaking of traditions that live on, next Friday is also going to be an AFCU Friday, where tickets start at just $8 when you pay using your AFCU debit or credit card at the Maverick Center box office. And then both teams will have Saturday off, and then Sunday, November 20th, will be the final game of the series. That's going to be a Sunday 3 o'clock start. Note that the Sunday games are 2 hours later than they used to be. It's going to start at 3 o'clock in the Mountain Time Zone. Then the Trois Rivières Lions are going to be in for a 3-game set. First, we got to figure out if we're saying the name of the team right, and then we'll have a 3-game and 3-day set as the Lions will be in town on Thanksgiving week. Some other scores in the league. Most of the games have gone final. Newfoundland defeats Jeff Carr's Norfolk Admirals 7-1. Adirondack over Worcester 4-3. That means Worcester picks up their first loss of the season. They go to 9-1. Adirondack gets their second victory of the year. So that's noteworthy as Worcester is off to an outstanding start as they are 9-1 through their first 10 games. They pick up their first loss tonight. Adirondack with the 1-goal victory. Orlando defeats Jacksonville 5-2. Wheeling is a 5-1 winner over Kalamazoo. Reading over Maine 5-3. Late third period, South Carolina has a 4-3 lead over the Savannah Ghost Pirates. I'm sure a lot of people have gotten their Savannah Ghost Pirates gear, the newest team in the league. As it seems like merchandise is flying off the shelves over there in Savannah, Georgia. They've got a home game tonight, but South Carolina's got a 4-3 lead late in the third period. 7 minutes left in the third. Indy and Cincinnati are tied at 3 after 3 periods. Let's see, is that through 3 periods or through 2? Looks like second intermission over in Toledo. They're tied at 1. Fort Wayne and Toledo tied. And that's quite a rivalry. It's kind of funny to think back to the Grizzlies' Western Conference Final Series against Toledo. I got calls from multiple Fort Wayne fans saying, hey, we're on your side. Beat Toledo. You talk about heated rivalries. I was getting calls from Fort Wayne people. They're giving me scouting reports on the Toledo Walleye as if I'm head coach Ryan Kanasowicz. So there's a lot of heat to the Toledo and Fort Wayne rivalry. That game played at Memorial Coliseum tonight. They're tied at 1 after 2 periods. How about a good one over at Cable Dahmer Arena? They just started out the third period. Iowa and Kansas City are tied at 4. So that one looks like it's a fun back-and-forth battle. It looks like for Iowa, their big offseason addition was right before the year where they picked up Matthew Boucher. Looks like Boucher is back with Iowa. He spent some time with the Belleville Senators. It's kind of interesting. You think about Boucher and Kyle Betts went up to Belleville at the same time. Betts is still in Belleville, but it looks like Matthew Boucher has been sent back to Iowa. And the former Grizzly, who was the 2020-2021 ECHL Rookie of the Year. He spent the last 2 seasons with Utah. How about this for a game? He's got 2 goals and 2 assists and is a +2 for Iowa tonight. So he has contributed to all 4 of the Iowa goals. And it looks like Michael Pastajov. It's a matchup of Pastajov brothers. Michael Pastajov, who played with Idaho and was traded to Iowa. He has scored 2 goals tonight. Both of them assists by Boucher. Boucher has the other 2 Iowa goals. But Nick Pastajov also has a goal for Kansas City. So I imagine the Pastajov brothers are going to have dinner after the game. I do know there is a Hooters right there next to the arena they could probably go to that's open late. They also got a Twin Peaks after the game. That's right next to the visiting team hotel that they could go to after the contest. Or there's a B-Dubs or some other food options that the Pastajov brothers can have where they can spend some time over in the Kansas City area. And they'll probably have a good evening. And what a hockey game it's been. They're tied at 4 heading into the third period. Breaking news. Looks like Kansas City just scored as it's now a 5-4 game as Jaremko. Don't call me Jonas Jaremko. I think that's Jake who scores his second of the year. Tristan Mullen with the assists. One other game in the league. 15:41 left in the third. Wichita leads Tulsa 2-0. In the NHL, we know that Saturday nights are pretty busy, so usually don't see many games on Friday. There are 4 games in the league. 2 of them have gone final. Pittsburgh defeats Toronto 4-2 as the Penguins are now 7-6-2 on the season. Capitals over the Lightning 5-1. So the Capitals get a big victory. They're about 500 teams to start the season as well. San Jose leads Dallas 4-2. That game with 4 minutes left in the second period. And just underway over in Seattle, the Wild and the Kraken will get underway. Kraken are 8-4-2 on the year. The Wild are 6-6-1. One top 25 college football score. Halfway through the first quarter, Colorado and 8th-ranked USC. No score, as USC is a heavy favorite over the 1-8 Colorado Buffaloes. In fact, USC is a 34-point favorite against Colorado. You can tell I'm old because I still remember Colorado as being a good football program, as they have certainly fallen off the map over the last 15 years or so. When we come back, we'll talk with Guy Carenza and get his thoughts on what was a pretty good second period for Utah. They lead Allen 3-1 heading into the third period. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network. I think the big question there with the Passage Job brothers playing against each other in Kansas City is where do they go after the game? I know Matthew Boucher is going to get something good. The former Grizzlies already got 2 goals and 2 assists. Kansas City leads that game 5-4. Over at the arena formerly known as the Allen Event Center, Utah leads 3-1. Johnny Walker and Cameron Wright scored second period goals. And then after that, Chad Costello called a timeout. There's probably a few nouns and verbs and adjectives he used. And you knew after that Allen was going to come out with a little bit of a renewed spirit, and they did as Hank Crone scored a 4-on-4 later on in the second period. But really, overall, Guy, I think that it was a pretty good second period for the Grizzlies. They outscored Allen 2-1.
Yeah, well, Tyson, it's funny because the Allen slogan is "Living in the Red" or "Live in the Red," and the Grizzlies took that literally. They've lit the goal lamp 3 times, that red light there, and they've had a really good showing, and they've got the Americans frustrated. Chad Costello was not very happy during that timeout, and the Americans came out with a little bit more grit, a little bit more intensity, and I expect that to carry over into the third because if the Americans aren't going to win this game, they're going to set the tone for the next one, and they're going to come out strong and play the Grizzlies tough. So they got to be ready for that.
Grizzlies could win the series with a victory tonight as they won on Wednesday 3-2 in overtime, but Allen did get a standing point for their effort. They have played 2 games past regulation. Grizzlies are 4-1 in 1-goal games, but we're thinking about Johnny Walker, the Worm, going into the second period, and he ended up scoring a goal 2 seconds after the power play ended. Really not enough time for the Allen player to come out of the penalty box and make any sort of impact on the play. And unfortunately, we didn't get a good view of it live, but I'm guessing that Trent Miner outletted it out to, through a nice outlet pass to Walker. Walker was on the left side, centered it to Jamison and bounced off the pads of Flodell, and Walker was able to put it away. And then that right goal was just simply a turnover to the right side. And I think that's why Costello called the timeout, was because of the turnover. Wright was able to put it away for his third of the year. But what do the Grizzlies need to do here in the third period to secure victory?
Well, Tyson, it's funny because we have the Rat and Cameron Wright, and now we have the Worm and Johnny Walker. And if Johnny's not picking fights, he's scoring goals. And that's what you need from your depth players on the Grizzlies rosters. You need them to go out and make a difference, and those guys have done it. So I would say in the third period, have your depth players take over this game, come out with some grit, play the Americans hard, and finish this thing off.
We'll talk with Guy during the post-game show as both teams have hit the ice for the third period. We'll be back in 30 seconds. This has been the Siegfried and Jensen Intermission Report. Utah leads 3-1 on goals from Dylan Fitz, Johnny Walker, and Cameron Wright. We're back after this on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
It's the Grizzlies 3 and the Americans 1. We're about set to start third period action. Utah's already taken 28 shots tonight, 10 in the first, 18 in the second. Allen this season has only allowed 25.2 shots per game, so already above the average that Allen allows per contest. The Grizzlies have only allowed 19 shots, so they're about on pace. They allow 30.8 per game, and obviously another 9 or 10 shots gets to that average as well, as the draw is going to be at center ice. We put 20 minutes on the clock. Utah will be skating from left to right as we see it on Flow Sports. Your mind's eyes see it on Mixler. and hopefully we'll be able to paint the picture for you as Allen wins the face-off as they'll get it out to neutral ice. The puck ended up in the Allen zone. They feed a blue line to blue line pass that bounced off the stick of Nilsson. Now Allen around the net, and Nilsson with a good defensive play, so he'll get it over to Sekos. Sekos and Nilsson get pinned along the boards. Jack Combs over there. Puck squirts towards the near side. Grizzlies at the point get it taken away by Mallory. Wright was in the area for Utah. Puck ends up going past Wright towards the slot. Utah lifts it high into the air as it bounces towards Mallory. He's back in his own zone. He feeds it across to Saucerman. As Saucerman will get it out to center ice, Cam Strong will take it for Utah. So back it out to Martin. Now to Strong. He feeds it across to McDonald. Connor goes D to Martin as Bryson will skate along the far side wall, cross center ice, and dump it in. Flodell is still in net. He has stopped 26 of 29 as the Americans back along the near side. Mallory will throw it off the boards near Allen's bench. Utah dumps it back in. Flodell behind his net will feed it to the near side. It bounced off a stanchion. Raby along the near side, or the far side, battles with Massacott. Now Allen feeds it across towards Godbout. Allen's still deep in their own zone as the Americans get it to Hargrove. He's at neutral ice. Gets it poked away by Penner, who chips it back into the American zone. Pochiro across to Mallory on the near side as he'll whip it cross ice. And it goes deep into the Grizzlies zone. It got redirected, so no icing on the play as Nilsson will feed it up for Walker. It bounces off of Walker's stick, goes deep into the Allen zone off the backboards. Skelly gets knocked down by Walker. Did the official spot it? As Allen to neutral ice. We'll feed it to the left side for Skelly. Skelly enters the zone. Utah pokes it away. Luckily, the official didn't spot Walker, and we skate 5-on-5 as Utah clears it to neutral ice. Now they dump it in. Allen skates around the net. Lord Anthony Grissom from Detroit, Michigan, as he'll cross center ice. He'll chip it over to the left side. Allen skates to the circle. Shot. Saved by Miner. Rebound goes out to the near side for Utah. Sekos crosses center ice. Right wing. Now he gets it in as he gets around a skater. Now to the circle. Sekos got it poked away before he could get a shot off. As now crossing center ice is Bethune. Tries to dump it in. McDonald gets it. Connor. Wednesday night's hero will feed it ahead. Utah crosses center ice. Now the Grizz step over the offensive line, get it to Sekos. He'll throw it to the corner. Nobody's there, but the Americans will regather. Cam Strong will skate off the ice after a good shift. 2.5 minutes into the third, Utah leads 3-1. As the Americans, Chris Mallory will feed it to the far side. Now the Americans ship it across. Crossing center ice is Combs. He'll feed it to the right side. Allen gets it to center ice. Hargrove gets taken down. Now Utah takes it back. Cutler will feed a left wing pass to Pfizer. Pfizer drops it off for Raby. Back to Pfizer. Slot. Shot. That one goes wide. As Cutler tried to get it back to Pfizer. Bounced off a body. Kolatarchi right side. Shot. That one goes wide. Now left side Grizzlies. They try to feed it to Cutler out in front. It bounced off his stick. And it goes towards the near boards. As Leopard will throw a blue line to blue line pass. It's onside. Chrome. Allen's goal scorer gets it in the right point. He'll skate towards his left to take a shot. That's blocked. And that was Sekos, I believe. Now make that Raby as the puck deflects all the way out to the Allen zone. Utah gets a couple new skaters out there. 3.5 minutes into the third. It's the Grizzlies 3 and the Americans 1. Allen back in their own end. We've had a good pace and flow to this game as Allen throws it out to their offensive line. Pachiro dumps it in as Godbout gets spun around behind Utah's net. As Nilsson keeps the puck from Godbout. He'll lift the puck high into the air, does Nilsson. It bounces into the Allen zone. Penner along the right side, centers it over towards Jamison. Jamison tries to hit it off of Flodell, and it gets kicked over to the right circle. Penner to the goal line, back to Jamison. He'll be shadowed. Jamison gets the puck taken away from him as it deflects back to the right corner. Now Pachiro will bounce it into the corner over from Massacott, who's behind the net. Now feed it to Sossaman. He'll throw a rink-wide pass to Hargrove. He skates into the left side, over to the corner. Centering pass goes wide. Back to Leopard. And he'll take a shot that's blocked. Puck ends up deflecting back into the Allen zone. 4.5 minutes into the third. Still 3-1 Utah. Back to the right side. Wright chasing after it. He looked to center it out in front to Strong, but the pass didn't connect. Now Allen skates across center ice, right wing. They kick it off the skate of Sekos. Now it's taken by Chrome. He skates towards the right circle and swings and misses. Goes back towards Durham, who scored a goal on Wednesday night. Up top for Gagnon. Now back to Durham. He'll take a shot. That goes wide. Now it gets kicked towards the crease, and Miner will feed it back to the near side. Utah throws it out to the Americans' zone. Is it going to be icing? And it is. The linesman enthusiastically throws his right arm in the air, and the draw is going to come back to the Grizzlies' zone. 14:48 left in the third. It's 3-1 Utah. Not many shots either side here to start the third, but with the Grizzlies nursing a 2-goal lead, you're kind of okay with that. His action kind of going back and forth. Allen pretty methodical with their approach. It almost looks like they want a patient game. Looks like they're kind of looking for quality more than quantity in terms of the shots that they get. Allen wins the face-off, and McDonald takes it away. And Connor gets it to right, but now Allen left side. Oh, they look to center it, but that pass didn't connect. Stone was in the area near the net. Cam Strong will nudge it into the American zone. Chris Mallory skates over to the corner. He'll throw a pass as it deflects off a stick and goes back to Utah at center ice. Kolatarchi dumps it in, rolls back towards the near side. Allen chips it back across as Sosserman in the area. Bounced off his stick. Now Crone will feed it across. Allen still deep in their own zone as Mallory being shadowed by Raby. Arm is raised. It's going to be a penalty on Utah's. Mallory will bounce it off the boards. He gets around Pfizer. Mallory dumps it in. Utah touches it up. Boy, Mallory was battling with Raby over in the corner, and then the arm was raised by the referee. It didn't really look like Raby did much wrong there, but I guess he did enough to warrant the penalty. As he skates to the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell, Raby's going to be in for 2 minutes. Boy, it's kind of tough to say what happened because it looked like he was just battling with Mallory. Mallory does have a little bit of a size advantage. Those guys faced off against each other a few times in the Big Ten. Mallory played at Penn State, and Raby was at Michigan. So Raby's in the box for 2 minutes. Maybe a high stick. Maybe a stick got up to Mallory. As the draw in the right circle is won by Allen. Sosserman will feed it around the boards. Utah leads 3-1. A crucial penalty kill by Utah as the Americans will get it up top for Crone. He'll feed it to Sosserman, who's quarterbacking this power play. Sosserman in the high slot. Skates towards his right. Fakes it to Crone. Gets it to the left for Pachiro. Now back to Sosserman. He'll skate towards his left. Now he fires towards the net. On it goes wide as he tried to go stick side on Trent. Martin in the corner. Gets it to Fitz. So I tried to clear it out. Sosserman keeps it in. He'll take a righty shot. That one goes wide. Stays in play. Left side. Off the glass. It goes to Pachiro as he's in the corner being shadowed by Sekos. Now it goes up top to the left side. Allen feeds it to the left. Off pass out in front. Didn't connect. Goes back behind the net. Now Jackson Leopard to the right point gets it. As he'll feed it to the right circle. Now back to Hargrove. Hargrove out to the corner. Up top for Sosserman. One-timer. Saved by Miner. He makes a nice glove stop. Out in front of the net was Jack Combs. Bryson Martin was boxing him out. Good stop by Trent, who's looked solid tonight in his first start since opening night. He stopped 21 of 25 in the season opener. He also spent a couple weeks in the AHL with the Colorado Eagles. This is his first game in 3 weeks, and he's looked like the Trent Miner we saw last year. As the draw won by Allen. Halfway through the Allen power play, 55 seconds left. Sosserman over to the left side. Pachiro with a shot. That one gets blocked in front. Now the Grizzlies in the left circle clear it out. Good job by Connor McDonald and company. 42 seconds left in the Grizzlies' shorthanded situation. Allen on the power play. Raby in the box. 2 minutes, I believe, for high sticking. Allen re-enters the zone. Hargrove gets taken away by Fitz, who will backhand it out to center ice. Penner chasing after it. As the puck ends up in the right corner. As Penner battling with Crone. Crone goes down as Penner with 3 Allen Americans surrounding him. Now it goes to McDonald. It chips off of him back to Allen. As Pachiro crosses center ice. Now he'll back it out into Allen territory. They'll feed it to the left side for Massicott. Back to Allen as Pachiro skates towards the slot. Stops. Now he'll get to Leopard. He'll take a shot and he scores. Boy, Leopard had Connor McDonald in front of him, but Leopard went top shelf over McDonald and over Trent Miner. It's a power play goal. There was 2 seconds left on the power play. Pachiro fed it to the right side, then back to Leopard up top. And Jackson Leopard, who had 20 goals last season, lights the lamp for the first time this year. And so it's a power play goal for the Americans. 12:07 left in the third. It's the Grizzlies 3 and the Americans 2. Well, it looked like a pretty good penalty kill for the Grizzlies up until Allen, there late in the power play, was able to get into some momentum. And it was kind of how they entered the offensive zone with that momentum. And it just kind of more of a free-for-all as opposed to set play type of situation. As the Grizzlies from center ice dump it in, as Utah deep in their offensive zone, as Raby gets hit. And it goes back over to Cutler on the right side. Cutler tried to get it to Pfizer on the right circle, but Cutler got dragged down by Massacott. As Utah in the right corner. As Raby skates towards his left, I try to get it out in front to Cutler. It goes past him off the end wall. Cutler skates towards the right side, fakes it to Colatarchi. Now he takes a shot that's blocked by Durham. As it goes to Raby, who gets pushed in the back, no call. As Pfizer battling, he'll cross center ice. As he'll back it out into his own zone as he looked for a pass at center ice and deflected off a stick. Allen to the left side as Pfizer gets knocked down. Looks like the officials are going to let him play a little bit more here in the third. As the puck is deep in the Allen zone. Allen has it as they'll feed it to the left circle. The Americans off the screen. Left wing shot saved by Miner. Gagnon trying to get the rebound in the circle, but it bounced off his ankle and goes to Sekos. Sekos with the right wing pass to right. He'll skate to the right circle, take a shot. On it goes high off the glass and stays in play as it goes back towards the end wall. Strong gets pushed into the corner. As Strong, right gets held up, so is Sekos. Strong has the puck. He avoids a check of Grissom. Now Strong skates along the goal line. Shot saved. Now Wright gets a shot and saved by Flodell. Taken by Allen. They cross center ice. The Americans enter the attack zone over in the left point as they feed it to the corner. Utah picks it off, and they'll get it out to neutral ice. Grizz dump it in. It looked like they dumped it in from their territory, but no icing. 10-18 and counting left in the third. It's the Grizzlies 3 and the Americans 2. Utah scored the first 3 goals of the game. Allen has scored 2 unanswered. Americans get to the right side and hits off a Penner, goes back to Allen as they throw it deeper into their own zone. As Mallory will feed it around the net for Saucerman. Colton, the former Idaho Steelhead, back behind his net as Penner kind of looking on in front of Flodell. Logan's his first name, wearing number 35. Now, Allen to the left side, cross center ice. They'll get it ahead to Crone. Crone, who scored a second period goal, gets hit by Fitz, throws it into the corner. And he goes back over, hits off of Fitz's ankle. Now he gets the puck. He crosses center ice. 3-on-3. Fitz skates down the middle, take a righty shot. Saved by Flodell. And he holds on as Johnny Walker is out in front. Now, after the whistle, Jack Combs and Johnny Walker push. Looked like Walker threw the first punch, but then Combs was able to get a few in himself. Combs and Walker exchange a couple words. Now they separate. 9:30 is left in the third. Grizzlies 3, Allen 2. There's a timeout on the ice. We'll be back in 30 seconds. This is Utah Grizzlies hockey, presented by Mountain Land Supply Company.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
We got a barn burner in Allen, Texas tonight as Utah leads 3-2. On that Allen goal, late in the power play, Jackson Leopard scored 7:53 in. Hank Crone and Zach Pachiro with the assist. Crone has a goal and an assist tonight. Grizzlies scored the first 3 goals of the game. Dylan Fitz, 10:30 into the first. Johnny Walker made it 2-0, 4:10 into the second period. Keaton Jamison and Trent Miner, the goaltender, with the assist, and the Cameron Wright scored unassisted. 8:09 into the second period. Allen has scored 2 unanswered. Both teams have 1 power play goal tonight. As Utah is 1 for 5 on the power play. Allen is 1 for 3. The Americans have outshot Utah 7-2 in the third period. Utah has a 30-26 edge on shots here so far tonight. And you think about another 1-goal game possibly being, with that scenario. Utah's got a 3-game winning streak looking to make it 4. But the Grizzlies are 4-1 so far this season in 1-goal games, which also means that 5 of the 8 games played by Utah have been decided by 1 goal. As Allen wins the face-off, they're in their own zone. They'll feed it cross ice where it's taken back by Andrew Nilsson. He'll get it to center ice, and Utah dumps it all the way around the boards as it goes to the right corner. It goes past Raby. Now Grizzlies have it in the offensive zone. As Cutler tried to find Raby, it's poked away. Now it's taken by Hargrove. He'll drop it off for Massicott, or make that God bout, as it goes back to the corner. Raby battling. It goes to the left point. Massicott feeds it across. Lefty shot's blocked by Cutler as it goes to Nilsson. He'll outlet it to Cutler. Brandon will lift it high into the air. Bounces towards Massicott. He'll feed it to the left side. At center ice, goes back towards Hargrove. He tried to feed Massicott on a give and go, and that one goes wide as Strong crosses center ice. He gets dragged around at the Allen blue line. He'll get it to Sekos. Left side shot. Saved by Flodell. And puck ends up back with Allen on the rebound. Looked like Flodell got hit in the helmet there and looked a little bit woozy. Hargrove feeds it across towards Crone. Utah pokes it back into Allen territory. The Americans, Lord Anthony Grissom, will get it out towards neutral ice. Play is stopped. And looks like the helmet of Logan Flodell came off, as Flodell looked like he took that one right in the helmet on a shot by Sekos in the slot about 30 seconds ago. And Flodell working to make sure his helmet still works as play stopped at neutral ice. And so maybe he'll do some repair, or maybe the helmet's good to go, but it did look like he was a little bit wobbly after taking that shot from Sekos. 8:16 is left in the third period. This is the 7th game of 8 straight on the road. Utah will take on Allen tomorrow night in the series finale and the road trip finale. 5:50 pregame show, 6:05 face-off. These teams will meet 12 times during the regular season, 6 times in each other's barn. And it should be a lot of fun. It should be a fun season series. You know, Allen's got a good team with Chad Costello, who's in his first season as head coach. Looks like there's a timeout. We'll be back in 15 seconds. Utah leads 3-2 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new Bean to Cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Grizzlies Hockey all season long is brought to you by Mountain Land Supply Company, who is committed to making our customers' business better, progressive change, creating a remarkable experience, and enriching our community. Mountain Land Supply Company, proud sponsor of Grizzlies Hockey. Utah Grizzlies Hockey is also brought to you by Rio Tinto. Rio Tinto is pioneers in mining and metals. They produce materials essential for human progress. Neutral zone draws one by Utah as Flodell gets his helmet back on. Grizzlies will fire a rink-wide pass to right. Bounces off of him onto Flodell, who skates behind his net and feeds it to the far side. Allen skates from right to left here in the third period as they'll nudge it ahead. Hank Crone, who's got 1 goal and 1 assist tonight, gets it taken away by Wednesday's hero, Connor McDonald. His action deep in the Grizzlies zone. Nilsson has it behind Utah's net as the Grizzlies get it back to Nilsson. Now ends up in the right point. Allen takes it. Righty shot. That's blocked out in front. It got blocked by McDonald. As Utah will lift it high into the air, bounces into the American zone. Utah's able to make a line change. 7.5 minutes left in the third. Utah's up 3-2. Rink-wide pass gets picked off by Fitz. He skates to the right circle, take a shot. Saved by Flodell, and he holds on as Fitz skated towards his favorite spot, which is over on the right side. And kind of tough, you know, it's not like he goes to the middle of the circle. It's almost like he goes to the edge of the circle and finds that perfect angle. But Flodell was able to make that stop. Utah leads 3-2, but it's good to see Dylan Fitz playing well. He scored 10:30 into the contest with his 2nd goal of the season. Zach Pachiro relaying a message to the rest of the Americans. Pachiro's got a lot of experience in this league. Jamison will take the face-off for the Grizz against Colton Hargrove. Jamison falls down at the circle. Allen wins the draw, and they will clear it all the way into the Grizzlies zone, run down by Kolatarchi. Joey will feed it out. Oh, looking for center ice. It got picked off. Allen skates in the right side, takes a shot. Saved by Miner. As Allen around the boards, as Kolatarchi's pass got picked off, and Allen had a great look. Right side shot. That goes wide. Less than 7 minutes left in the third period. Now left wing shot. That one goes wide as well. Miner got it. Might have gotten a piece of it. as the Americans over to the left side. Skelly rolls it around. It gets caught up in the left corner. Now back up top for Skelly. He feeds to the high slot. Massacott towards the net. That one gets blocked as well. Goes back over looking for Skelly in the point, but taken by Jamison, who clears it out. There's a puck in the Allen zone. 6.5 minutes left in the third. As Flodell directs traffic with Dalton Skelly, who's got 1 assist tonight. That came in the second period. Skelly behind the net. Will feed it to the near side as it bounces out to center ice. Now the Americans skate in. Crone around a defender. Puck rolls towards Miner, who clears it back out towards the near wall. Now the Grizzlies send it back to the Allen zone. Americans have it as Godbout will nudge it ahead. He'll dump it in. Miner wanted icing, but none to be had. As Raby over in the near side cleared it out to center ice. Racing after it's Pfizer. And icing is waved off as Pfizer gets pushed along the boards by Gagnon. And the puck stays in the corner. Gagnon gets tripped up by Pfizer. No call. Raby over there as Pfizer nudges it along the near wall. Allen will carry it out to center ice. Allen crosses center as Crone gets tripped up. No call. Now Cutler will bounce it off the far boards. And the puck exited the zone. Colton Sauceman thought he kept it in, but offside on the Americans. 5:31 left in the third. Timeout on the ice. We'll find out how this one ends when we come back. It's the Grizzlies 3 and the Americans 2 right here on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Mountain Land Supply Company. Utah leads 3-2. 5.5 minutes left in the third period. Right now, it's another one-goal game. 5 of the first 8 games this season have been decided by one goal. Utah's 4-1 in one-goal games. Really, if you're going to be a good team, if you're going to be a team that's competing for the division championship and, winning playoff series, you're going to have to win these one-goal games. And the Grizzlies so far this season have done a good job in one-goal contests. It looks like we got a barn burner over at Credit Union of Texas Event Center. After the game, we'll go over all the scores from around the league and talk with Guy Carenza and get his thoughts, as it's been an interesting game so far. Utah scored the first 3 goals of the game, and then Allen has scored 2 unanswered. Dylan Fitz, Johnny Walker, and Cameron Wright have each found the back of the net for Utah. Hank Crone's got 1 goal and 1 assist. He scored 15:44 into the second. Jackson Leopard, late in the Allen power play, cut into the Grizzlies' lead some more. He scored 7:53, and Crone and Pachiro with the assist there. Neutral zone draw after Allen was called for offside. They'll feed it over to the left circle. Either try to center it out in front. Cole Tarchi gets pushed into the back as the puck ends up going back to center ice. As Utah loses it neutral ice, Allen back into their own zone. They'll feed a left wing pass, and they'll get it across. Allen over to the right wing. Shot saved by Miner, and it goes out of play. Good stick save by Trent. 5:08 is left in the third. That last shot was taken by Marcel Godbout, who gets his first shot of the game. Utah's outshot Allen 32-27, but here in the third period, Allen has a 9-4 edge. Sekos will take the draw in the left circle against Jack Combs. Combs a +2 coming into play tonight as the Americans win the face-off. They feed it across, but it hit off a stick and goes back to neutral ice. They're trying to find Massacott in the left point. Allen back in their own zone. Less than 5 minutes left in regulation. Leopard will knock it ahead to Skelly. Left wing shot. That one goes wide as it rolls along the boards. Grizzlies in the right corner. Will chip it out to center ice. Right, across center ice. He'll dump it in onto Flodell. Bounces off of him and goes out to center ice. As Crone carries it across the offensive line and dumps it in from the left point. Martin will get it around the boards as it goes off of Johnny Walker. Johnny clears it out and looks like it's going to be icing, but the puck never got to the Allen goal line. Lord Anthony Grissom runs it down. He'll feed it to the left side. Now it goes to the corner. Utah runs that down, no icing, as it goes to Pouncey around the net. Pouncey to the right side gets held up, and the Americans. Leopard in the area. Pouncey still has the puck. He'll bounce it ahead to Walker. Now to center ice for Fitz. Fitz skates into the left circle, take a shot. Saved by Flodell. Late whistles, he gives it to Grissom. The whistle never blew, so Allen keeps the puck in play. Americans, Gagnon. Back in his own zone, kicks it ahead to Leopard. It bounced off his stick. Now it goes to Utah as they'll drive it in as it rolls off the boards. Raby behind the net gets cut off. He'll nudge it across to Fitz, now to the left wing. Shot. That one goes wide, taken by Nilsson. Now back to Raby. I tried to find Pfizer on a one-timer. That goes wide. Nilsson fakes a one-timer, skates towards the circle. Allen pokes it away. Americans with a 2-on-2. 3:25 left in the third. Right wing shot. Saved by Miner. Rebound goes to the right corner. Nilsson tried to get it ahead to Cutler. That got picked off. Now to the slot. Pachero shot. Saved by Miner. As it bounces off of Pfizer. He hits it off the glass and gets deflected out of play. 3:13 left in the third as the whistle blows. As both goaltenders get a swig of water. Well, the Grizzlies look like they're going to hold on for dear life, maybe. As Allen looks like they're the aggressor offensively here in the third period. Americans are up to 31 shots. Utah's taken 34. Draw's going to be in the Grizzlies zone. Actually, it's going to be at center. Yeah, it's going to be the Grizzlies zone. Utah wins the faceoff and clears it out. Icing is on Utah. 3:07 left in the third. Same teams tomorrow night. I know from the Grizzlies' perspective, I know everybody that's over there wants to get back home. It's been a long 2 weeks on the road. They won 2 out of 3 against Kansas City last week. The trip started by splitting 2 games against Idaho. Utah won the series opener in overtime 3-2, and Utah can clinch the series with a victory tonight. Utah wins the draw and skates into the zone, but centering pass gets poked away. Now Crone gets it towards Leopard. He scored a third-period goal. I try to feed it out in front to Crone. Pass ends up going behind him. Grizzlies clear it out to center. Sosserman will skate towards his right at neutral ice and dump it around. Martin over in the left corner gets hit. Crone will feed it up top. Sosserman with a shot. Miner makes the save as Trent was to the left of his net and makes a nice stop. Joey Colatarchi and Bryson Martin were out in front of the net, as was Sekos. 2:34 is left in the third as Trent Miner gets some more water. Utah still leads 3-2, and I think Trent's looked outstanding here tonight. Well, the Grizzlies on this road trip have gotten some outstanding goaltending performances. Garrett Metcalf is the backup tonight, but he has won each of the previous 3 games for Utah. Utah's on a 3-game winning streak, and Metcalf started all 3. Miner starting for the first time since opening night. Lucas Preek started 4 games and has a 2-2 record. As Preek went 1-2 so far to start the road trip, and he's back in Salt Lake as Utah wins the faceoff and clears it out. 2:25 left in the third and counting. Allen skating from right to left as the Americans cross center ice, and they'll drive it in. Racing after it's Leopard. Miner behind his net will feed it to the right side. He gets stuck in the corner. Now Allen feeds it to the circle. Utah picks it off. Tyler Penner crosses center ice. He'll step over the line back to Walker. Over to Fitz. Fitz looking for the puck. As he crosses the goal line, it bounces off the end wall. Fitz gets pushed in the back. Penner skates towards the left corner as Penner gets poked away by Skelly. Less than 2 minutes left in regulation. Gagnon will nudge it to his right as the Americans will feed it across, try to clear it out, and it goes to neutral ice. McDonald throws it back in. Gagnon runs it down deep in the Allen zone as there's 1:35 left in the third. Utah's still up by 1. Gagnon will carry it out to center ice. He'll throw a left wing pass as Combs dumps it in. Martin behind his net as he'll throw it to the near side. Left point, Allen with the shot. Sosserman as he'll skate in. Allen's net is empty. 1:14. He couldn't get a shot off. Grizzlies clear it out to center. 1:10 left in the third. As Utah Takes it away, fires towards the empty net, and they score! This baby's in the refrigerator as Zach Sekos picked off a pass at center ice, threw it to the empty net, and scores as he gets his 6th of the year. Utah's taking a 4-2 lead with 1:04 left in regulation. But it didn't seem like Allen's goaltender was off the ice for long. Puck ended up at center ice. Utah had it, and I believe it was Sekos who threw it into the back of the net. As he was at neutral ice, looked like Allen tried to dive to deflect it or block it, but it looked like a clean goal. I think that was Zach Sekos. We only saw him from the side of the screen. If it is Sekos, it's his 6th of the year. Utah leads 4-2. Back in net is Flodell. Utah's up by 2 with a minute left. Now to the left point. Nielsen with a shot. Saved by Flodell. He holds on, but it looks like it's going to be another victory for Ryan Kanasowicz's crew. You talk about holding on to that 1-goal lead. Allen maintaining quite a bit of offensive zone time. It looks like the Grizzlies are going to win once again. And unless Allen scores one late, it won't be a 1-goal win, but it will be certainly a well-earned 2 points tonight. As the Grizzlies win the face-off, as Cutler will feed it up top for Nielsen. He'll take a shot. And looks like it deflected off Flodell's stick and goes out of play. 43 seconds left in regulation. Some of the fans have headed for the exits over at the place formerly known as the Allen Event Center. Sekos gets an unassisted empty net goal, his 6th of the year. That means that he's got 4 goals in his last 3 games. Draw in the Kansas City zone is won by Utah. Or by Allen. They skate towards the right side. Either look to center to Chrome. It bounced off a Grizzly. Half a minute left in the 3rd period. As towards the left goal line. As Allen gets it back to Jamison. Allen's net is empty once again. As action's over in the left corner. Jamison over with Cutler. As he's holding on to Jackson Leopard. Less than 20 minutes left. Or less than 20 seconds left. As the Americans left point. 12 seconds left. Sosserman. Well, he looked to center and deflected off the stick and flew out the protective netting. 9 seconds is left in the 3rd period as Utah's going to go to 5-2 on the road trip. They will have won 4 in a row. And the Grizzlies, you talk about winning road games. They won 19 road contests last season, and that was a big reason as to why they won the division. Utah, in their 7th road game, will go to 5-2 as they won 2 out of 3 games against Kansas City. Before that, they split 2 games against Idaho. It looks like they're going to win the first 2 games of this set in Allen. Off the draw, Allen wins the faceoff. Leopard will throw it to the right corner. 4 seconds left. Grizzlies take it away, and they fire towards an empty net, but time runs out, and that will do it. Grizzlies win! Grizzlies win 4-2 as this series belongs to Utah. Period. Amen. Grizzlies win as they get their 4th straight victory. They have won the first 2 games here in Allen after winning the last 2 games against Kansas City. It was a good game by Zach Sekos once again, who scored an empty net goal. He is now tied with Taryn Pfizer for the club lead. Both guys have 6 goals. Utah also got goals from Dylan Fitz, Johnny Walker, and Cameron Wright. After that, Allen scored 2 unanswered, but the Grizzlies held strong as they get a 4-2 victory. And how about Trent Miner in net? He gets his first win of the season. He stopped 31 of 33. Logan Flodell of Allen stopped 33 of 36. Grizzlies get a 4-2 victory. They outshot the Americans 37-33. Both teams had a power play goal, and we'll recap all the action when we come back. Post-game show coming up next. Once again, the Grizzlies get their 4th straight victory as they defeat Allen 4-2 as they are now on a 7-game winning streak against the Americans. That's another happy broadcast as the Grizzlies get their 4th straight victory. They go to 5-2 on the road trip, and they look for the sweep tomorrow night as the series and the road trip conclude. 5:50 pregame show, 6:05 face-off. The Grizzlies scored the first 3 goals of this game. Dylan Fitz got the Grizz on the board. 10:30 into the contest, Andrew Nelson and Brandon Cutler picked up the assist. Utah led 1-0 after 1 period. They outshot the Americans 10-9 in the first stanza. In the second period, 2 seconds after a power play ended, Grizz had a 2-on-1. Johnny Walker was on the left side, centered it to Jamison out in the crease. Jamison took a shot that bounced off of Logan Flodell onto Walker, who was in the left circle, and he pretty much had an open net and just put it away for his 3rd of the year. So Walker's got 3 goals in his last 3 games. Jamison got his first assist of the year. Also picking up his first assist of the year was goaltender Trent Miner. So you talk about Miner not only getting the victory, but ending up on the stat sheet with an assist tonight. When Walker scored 4:10 into the second, that became a 2-0 game. 4 minutes later, 8:09 into the second, Allen turned the puck over. Cameron Wright skated towards the right circle and fired away and got one past Logan Flodell, and it was an unassisted goal. Cameron Wright got his 3rd of the year. It was the first goal that I thought it was actually the first goal that wouldn't be a game winner, but because Allen scored 2 unanswered, the Cameron Wright goal turns into the game winner. So all 3 of Cameron Wright's professional goals have been game winners, and this one's no different. When he scored unassisted 8:09 into the second, that gave the Grizzlies a 3-0 lead. It was a 4-on-4 situation as Anthony Durham and Dylan Fitz got roughing Miners 15-19 in. 25 seconds into the 4-on-4, Hank Crone skated towards the right circle, and he was all alone, and he went top shelf on Trent as he went over Miner's left shoulder. Crone got his 3rd of the year. Skelly and Massacott with the assists. That was all for the scoring for the second period. Utah led 3-1 after 2 periods. The Grizz outshot the Americans 18-10 in the second period. Allen got on a power play, as the only penalty in the 3rd period was Dakota Raby's high sticking Miner, 5:54 in, and late in the power play. How late? Looked like there was 1 second left on Allen's power play. It looked like Pachiro was over on the left side, fed it to Crone. Crone then centered it to Leopard, and Leopard fired away. It looked like Connor McDonald was on 2 knees trying to block the shot. It went over McDonald and over Miner into the back of the net. It's Leopard's 1st of the year. He scored 20 goals last season. That made it a 3-2 game. And then, the final 12 minutes of regulation seemed like the Grizzlies were just battling to hold on, as the Americans had quite a bit of offensive zone time in that final 12 minutes. Allen outshot Utah 14-9 in the 3rd period, but the Grizzlies got the insurance they needed. Allen pulled their goaltender with about 1:20 left in regulation. It didn't take long for the puck to get to center ice. Somehow Zach Sekos got it, and he fired away. An Allen player tried to dive in front of the net to block it, but Sekos found the back of the net. He's got 4 goals in his last 3 games, and he is now tied with Taryn Fizer for the club lead in goals. Both guys have 6. And that was all she wrote. Sekos scored unassisted, and that's all for the scoring. This series belongs to the Grizzlies. Period. Amen. Grizzlies win. They're 5-2 on the road trip. They go to 6-3 on the season. Allen falls to 2-4-1. And so, you talk about Grizzlies team, then it's really the depth in goaltending. We've seen some outstanding performances by all 3 goaltenders here in the first 9 games of the season. I wondered coming into play tonight whether Trent Miner, not playing over the last 3 weeks, if he was going to be a little bit rusty. But it looked like Miner was ready to go. He had an outstanding game, stopping 31 of 33. His backup tonight was Garrett Metcalf, who won 3 in a row coming into play tonight. Metcalf won 2 games against Kansas City, and he also got the victory, stopping 32 of 34 against Allen in a 3-2 overtime win on Wednesday. So you're talking about, the Grizzlies getting good goaltending performances, Metcalf and Miner, and earlier in this road trip, getting some good games from Lucas Perique. He got a pretty good 1-2-3 combination for the Grizzlies now, and it looks like Perique's out with an injury, but you still got Miner and Metcalf, and that's going to be enough. And, you score 3 goals, but you allow 2. Hey, that's enough to win. You're going to win a lot of games when you're allowing 2 goals. When all you need to do is score 3, you're going to be in games, you're going to win a lot of games as well. So, when Miner plays like he has tonight and, you get that depth scoring, you didn't necessarily need to get Pfizer and Sekos on the board, even though Sekos had the empty netter. It's big for Johnny Walker, to score some goals. That, if he plays just about every game, he's going to probably run into 15 or 20 goals this year. Same thing for Cameron Wright, who's making the adjustment to pro hockey after a really successful 5-year college career, which ended with the national championship at Denver as he won a Frozen Four, and he was a key piece to that club. When you get Cameron Wright rolling offensively, he's played pretty well on this road trip. You talk about a guy over the last four games that's really been on a roll, which started with that game winner last Friday against Kansas City. And then you think about Penner. It's not really shown up on the stat sheet, but Tyler Penner's really made a good contribution, both offensively and defensively. And, he put it all together. I thought Keaton Jamison played a good game tonight. It's really that combination. Dakota Raby, had a strong game as well. And I think, even though it didn't show up on the stat sheet, I think Cam Strong played one of his best games as a Grizzly tonight. And then, even though the Grizzlies, lost Nate Klerman earlier today as he got called up to the AHL's Colorado Eagles, and you need some defensemen to step up. You get a good game from Kyle Pouncey, Joey Kulatarchi. I think the shifts that Jordan Stone played, I thought those were good shifts tonight. Bryson Martin playing well. Mostly Martin's going to have the puck in his own zone, so it's not necessarily going to be points from him. But he played a solid game tonight. And Connor McDonald, you're going to get a good effort from the captain every game. You put all those pieces together, and you get the makings of a really good hockey team, something that can win those close games. And even though it turned out to be a 2-goal game, you talk about those 1- and 2-goal contests. Can you win 70% of those? If you can, you're going to be a pretty tough team to beat. And the Grizzlies have shown here in the first 9 games of the season that when they get good goaltending, when they get depth scoring from guys like Johnny Walker and Cameron Wright, when Dylan Fitz comes through like he did in the first period. He's got 2 goals in 9 games this season. When your third-line forwards are contributing, when you're getting good defensive performances night in and night out from guys like Nilsson and McDonald. And really, I think that from year 1 to year 2, we're seeing the improvement from Pouncey, Kolatarchi, and Stone. And you get Bryson Martin into the mix. Once he settles in, he's going to be a pretty strong addition for the Grizzlies. You put all those ingredients together, and you've got a pretty good hockey team. And that's what the Grizzlies have right now, as they are 6-3 on the year. And they've ensured themselves, regardless of what happens tomorrow in the series finale, regardless of what happens tomorrow, the Grizzlies have a winning road trip, as they are 5-2 on the road trip. And, that's exactly what you want. Thinking about the scenario coming into play before the trip, you think, okay, you'll probably split in Idaho because of how strong the Steelheads are at home. Then you figure, okay, you win 2 out of 3 against Kansas City, and you win no less than 2 out of 3 against Allen. You come home with at least 5 road victories. You'll take that any day of the week. And you go into Saturday in the road trip finale, and you could possibly get a 6 victory on this road trip. Hey, you'll take that any day of the week before coming home for 6 straight games, 3 against Idaho and 3 against the Trois Rivières Lions. We got Guy Carenza hanging out with us tonight, and Guy, it was 3-2 for quite a while, but the Grizzlies held strong, and then Zach Sekos scored the empty netter late, and the Grizzlies come away with 2 more standings points as they are inching closer to first place in the Mountain Division.
Yeah, there was never a doubt, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the Grizzlies, they're a really strong second period, and they build upon that. And I felt that there was they were really sound defensively throughout this entire game. Miner was fantastic in his return. But as you mentioned before, the defensive pieces tonight, they all played very well. I thought Stone, fit into the lineup very well and had a good showing. But just a great defensive game, and that's the great thing about the Grizzlies is, maybe they're not scoring a whole lot, but they have a really good defensive performance, and that's what gets them over here in Allen. So it's just a good win for the Grizzlies tonight.
And Cameron Wright, once again, finding the back of the net. He's got 3 goals this season. He's really been outstanding all road trip. You know, he started out the road trip getting his first professional goal, and I got a feeling by the time he hits midseason, he'll be one of those dangerous offensive weapons. And now Pfizer and Sekos each have 6 goals, but you know, it always seems like there's always those games every year where if your third line beats the other team's third line, you know, you do that enough times. And with the depth the Grizzlies have, I mean, how many victories this season are going to be because Utah's third line, you know, guys like Fitz, Penner, Walker, they outscore the other team's third line. And, you know, especially in a 1 or 2 goal game, and that makes the difference. You're going to win a lot of games because of your depth.
Yeah, Tyson, that's just it. And I think that's what makes the Grizzlies so special is because they have that depth. I mean, you think about it. Lucas Parikh, he's out. Okay, who steps in? Garrett Metcalf, Trent Miner. They're fantastic. You know, Ben Tardif gets called up to the AHL. Okay, who's going to step in? Taryn Pfizer's been great. Cameron Wright has been excellent. You know, just all these guys are really starting to step up. It's a next man up mentality. And it seems like this team is kind of coming into their own now, right? We've seen the Grizzlies for 9 games now, and they're starting to take form, right? This is the team that we expected to see. They're playing with speed. They're scoring. It's just all coming together, and that goes, all the credit goes to Coach Kanasowicz on that one.
And, yeah, especially on the road in this league, it's incredibly difficult to win because, well, you know, for the Grizzlies' perspective, you're on the road for 2 weeks. You're not exactly staying in a 5-star hotel. In fact, I've heard not so great reviews of the Allen Hotel. You know, then you go play in a tough environment. You're not quite sure what kind of ice conditions you're going to get from game to game. And, you know, unfortunately, it doesn't look like there were great crowds in the first 2 games in Allen, and it didn't really look like there were great crowds in Kansas City. And those are tough games if you're a road team because you got to bring your own energy because it's not going to be a sellout crowd that's going to provide the energy for you. And so because of that, you know, it would only be human for the Grizzlies to come out flat in one of those games. And I think that's a credit to them. And who knows, maybe tomorrow night will be the game where they come out flat, last game of the road trip, thinking about, you know, returning home. But I think it's a credit to the Grizzlies that, you know, in a league that can be tough to win on the road, that you bring a good effort for 60 minutes the way they have over the last 4 games.
Yeah, I think that Coach Kanasowicz and this staff of the Grizzlies, they seem to always have these guys ready to play, right? You know, you're right. Sometimes with those games where you have a little bit of a smaller crowd, they come to teams tend to come out flat, and the Grizzlies didn't do that. They came out and they played their game. They dictated the terms here, and that's what helped them get the victory. So I think that speaks volumes to like the character of this team and the culture that they've built here. Did you just come out and win games?
Tonight's picks to click, you went with the Brandon Cutler, who had 1 assist. I don't remember who my pick to click was. It was either Sekos or Wright.
I think you had Sekos.
Sekos came through with the empty netter. That's who I remember picking. I could have also gone with Wright. I was maybe thinking Wright and went with Sekos. But let's see who the number 1 star is, because it looked like it's pretty balanced tonight. You know, goals from 4 different players. Let's see who they go with as the number 1 star in Allen. It looks like the number 1 star is Cameron Wright. His goal turned out to be the game winner, so he had 1 point. All 3 of his goals this season, which means all 3 of his professional goals, have been game winners. So I guess Cameron Wright is the winner of the picks to click. I would also put Trent Miner in there for the job he did tonight. Any winners over there?
I see Guy or Guy Morgan, depending on your French.
It's Guy Morgan.
It's Guy Morgan? All right, that's a
right.
fantastic name. Awesome name. He had Wright as his pick to click, so congratulations there. And I see no more picks for Wright. See a pick for Miner.
That's a pretty good pick. I mean, considering the job he did, I think that Wright got the number 1 star solely because he ended up getting the game winner. I think Wright's a good pick. Guy Morgan, I have to, next time I see Guy Morgan, I might have to. That's the problem with what we've got with picks to click, is we don't really know what the prize is right now. And that's probably why we were slow to start with picks to click this year. But Guy Morgan, you're the winner tonight.
Congratulations, you won the pick to click.
Maybe we'll give him a 20-ounce drink or something. That's it. We got Coke products. Grizzlies hockey presented by Coca-Cola. I'll buy him a Coca-Cola next time I see him.
Sounds good. Hey, that's a heck of a deal.
And plus, you like him because his name is Guy, just like you.
Of course.
That's the way that we work here, Utah Grizzlies hockey. Guy Morgan, Guy Carenza. A lot of guys stepping up for the Grizzlies tonight as they win 4-2. How about this for the 3 stars? Looks like 2 of the 3 stars went to Allen. The 3rd star tonight is Zach Pachiro, who had 1 assist and had 4 shots. He is the number 3 star. Number 2 star, I thought he played a great game. Hank Crone, 1 goal and 1 assist. He contributed to both of Allen's goals tonight. And then Cameron Wright with the game winner. He is the number 1 star. I think if you wanted to do a Grizzlies 3 stars, with Wright, you probably still put him number 1. I mean, it doesn't look like anybody had a multiple point game for Utah, but that's that balance that we were talking about, and that's that depth. I think the Johnny Walker goal was big, making it 2-0, 4-10 into the second period. I'd probably give Walker some sort of star. But then you got to think about, Dylan Fitz with that first period goal. We got to fit Trent Miner in there somewhere. So we'd probably go Wright, Walker, and Miner with the Grizzlies 3 stars of the game.
Yeah, that's what I would go with. I mean, that's the thing, though. Like, you got a lot of guys with a really solid performance. And as you mentioned, guys like Tyler Penner didn't get on the score sheet, but they make a difference. Connor McDonald doesn't usually get on the score sheet, although he had the game winner in the previous game. He usually doesn't show up on the score sheet, but he makes a big difference in how the game is played, and that just really helps dictate the outcome. So a lot of unsung heroes on the Grizzlies. It's hard to pick 3, but that's probably what I would go with.
That's probably a good choice for the 3 stars. I think the one thing, we're kind of joking about the cliche of we just got to go out and play Grizzlies hockey. But, Allen only allows 25 shots per game here early in the season. Grizzlies had 37 shots. Wednesday kind of felt a little bit more like it was at Allen's pace. Tonight, it kind of felt more like what the Grizzlies wanted. A little bit more up-tempo, up and down, utilizing their speed. And I think that was a big part as to why the Grizzlies won, is that they were able to dictate the terms of the game, it seemed like, a little bit more than Allen was.
Yeah, of course. And, I think that when the Grizzlies are on their A-game, when they're playing Grizzlies hockey, they're one of the best teams in the league. All right, this team won the division championship and went to the Western Conference Final last year for a reason. When they're on their A-game, they're unstoppable. So, I mean, for them to really start clicking like this, especially early on in the season, it's really good to see. It's a good omen, especially if you're going to be here at the Maverick Center for the next homestand against Idaho, because the Grizzlies are rolling right now, and they're a really fun team to watch.
It was a lot of fun tonight. Grizzlies get the victory, 4-2 over the Allen Americans. Goals from 4 different players. Dylan Fitz with the first period goal. Johnny Walker and Cameron Wright scored in the second period. And then Zach Sekos on the empty net with less than 2 minutes left in regulation to complete the scoring. Actually, he scored with 1:04, so it was more like 1 minute left in regulation. Any final thoughts, Guy? As tomorrow the Grizzlies are going to be looking for the sweep and a 6-2 road trip. They're currently 5-2, having won 4 in a row.
Yeah, the Grizzlies are rolling right now, and I expect them to continue to go on that roll. I mean, you want to finish out I know it's going to be tough to finish out this road trip because, I mean, honestly, you could probably consider that they're tired and they want to go home. But just finish this thing out strong, get one more win in Allen. And, the thing is it's going to be tough, right? And the Americans are going to come out, and they're going to come out with a lot of intensity, right? They're probably mad. We saw Chad Costello. We saw him get mad in the third or second period, and he came back with a lot of fight and a lot of grit in the third. There's going to be a lot of emotions in this next game. If you're the Grizzlies, you can't let that get out of control. Play Grizzlies hockey, get the win, and get out and get back home. Don't let your emotions get the best of you.
We're going to try to keep a track of tomorrow night how many times we say, got to play Grizzlies hockey.
Oh, I'm going to try not to say it.
It's probably going to be, the over-under right now is 9.5. One stat before we go, and I know we've thrown far too many stats at you, but unfortunately with a remote broadcast, sometimes that's all you have. Bryson Martin tonight was a +3. We talked about the defenseman coming through. Bryson Martin was a +3 tonight, and that's certainly big for a guy. Even though he hasn't scored a point this year, he did contribute mightily to the Grizzlies' success this evening, as he was a +3. Cameron Wright and Zach Sekos reach a +2, both guys scoring 1 goal. Wright had 6 shots. Dylan Fitz also had 6, but the team leader was Andrew Nilsson, who had 7 shots. Nilsson ended the night with 1 assist. He leads the club with 11 assists, and he leads all league defensemen with 12 points on the season. That was a fun one as we were hanging out at Maverick Center. There's a concert going on I don't know if we're allowed to get back to the Grizzlies office to type up the post-game story. If not, I might have to do it at home. There's a lot of security people, and I'm not sure anybody knows who we are. We're not exactly celebrities around here. But I guess we'll have to come back tomorrow when these security people are not here to let us in. And we'll see what happens tomorrow in the final game of the series. Guy, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Tyson.
Once again, in 2 hours and 30 minutes and in front of 2,331 over at Credit Union of Texas Event Center, the Grizzlies got goals from Dylan Fitz, Johnny Walker, Cameron Wright, and Zach Sekos. Wright's goal turned out to be the game winner. He picks up his team-leading third game-winning goal of the year. Trent Miner was outstanding in net, stopping 31 of 33. Next broadcast of Grizzlies hockey will be tomorrow night, 5:50 pregame show, 6:05 face-off. For Guy Carenza, I'm Tyson Whiting, and it is what it is.